talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good morning. Look who we have on the panel. Samantha Jones, everybody.
Samantha Jones?
Oh my God, Sam Jones. I was thinking of Sex in the City. Wow. Samantha Shocker.
Samantha Jones is here, everybody. Samantha Jones.
Wow.
Please, somebody clip and save that for Tori. We will be using that during one of our rap
I'm
shows.
so sorry, Sam. We're all fuddled today. I'm so sorry.
Not all of us.
Yes, all of us.
Well, carry on, Pete. Let's go.
All right, Fred, you don't have to go there. All right, let's talk about this, Samantha Jones. Former President Trump. I'm sorry.
Okay, take a breath. Take a breath. It's okay.
I thought it was an inside, and I was like, I don't know what. I never really know what you're talking about, but I was like, I don't get this one at all.
Yeah.
Well, now you get it. It was a mistake. All right. Former President Trump is in New York today, where he is getting deposed in an investigation into his business dealings. He is now refusing to answer questions. He is taking his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself over and over for every question. There's a ton of fallout from Monday's FBI search of his home at Mar-a-Lago. Trump is reportedly feeling, quote, furious yet scared, according to People magazine. He feels victimized and is calling everyone he trusts to give him advice and reassure him this is a witch hunt. He's also saying Biden knew all about this. We've also got new details on the raid itself. So agents spent 9.5 hours searching the property, reportedly focusing right on Trump's office and personal quarters, although some are also reporting they searched Melania's wardrobe. Whoa. They took away about a dozen boxes of materials, and we now have 90 days before the midterm election, with many expecting Trump to announce his candidacy soon. But the question a lot of people are asking, is Trump a victim of government overreach? This was everywhere yesterday. People saying, how dare they? We got to defund the FBI, take away the Department of Justice. What do you think?
So I think, because there's a lot of confusion out there, especially from Trump supporters, here are just some facts. A lot of you are asking what an affidavit is. So an affidavit would have to have this in it, okay? It would have to identify the person, place, or thing to be searched. So it's not just this erroneous, empty warrant, right? It also would have to identify the property to be searched or seized, and it would have to establish actual evidence and grounds to go forth with that search. I also want to say, too, that, Trump has claimed that he and his team were not aware that a search would take place. Well, we all know that back in June that they did announce with his team, the FBI did have a private meeting with him, and this is all fact now, that they said if you do not turn over those documents, we will come back and seize them. So whether or not, the FBI cannot comment on what that search warrant is, only Trump can because he has a copy of it. So we won't be able to hear more about that, and if it is those seized documents that they're trying to attain, until there is a court hearing. That's when we will hear from the prosecutor. That's when we will hear from the FBI, or we could hear from Trump himself.
Interesting. Do you think after we hear all that, we'll feel more for Trump? Do you think he feels like a victim now? What do you think is happening?
I'd rather hear from you. What do you think is going on with the whole thing?
Well, here's how I feel. A lot of people are writing me and the show. If the FBI can do this to Trump, they can do this to anyone. That's how laws work. That's how things go. We're supposed to be like that. No one's above the law. What I find interesting is we know he might have trashed documents from Stephanie Grisham. If they find that he mishandled any classified information, he will not be able to run for federal office. A lot of people are saying that's the end goal in all of this, is that they don't want him to be able to run for president. Do you think that?
I think, yeah, that's the end game, right? But you say that's the law. I think a lot of people are looking at this, and again, this is the argument that everyone throws out, so I'm just regurgitating it. I think there's a lot going on with Nancy Pelosi and her husband, right? I think there's a lot going on with the Clintons. I think there's a lot of other things that are going on that don't have FBI warrants. I'm glad you said that about the affidavit, because they need a judge needs to sign off on that. They need probable cause and like saying we're expected to find something. My problem with this whole thing is if there's something there, go get it. I'm all for it.
Right.
You gotta serve justice, right? If this is about like a declassified document that was classified and he thought it was classified and he brought it in and they don't really find anything, this is not good for the Democratic Party, right? This is not good for two reasons. One, we're 90 days away from the midterm, okay? This is riling up the Republicans. This is bringing them together in my eyes. No matter what the outcome is, it's bringing them together. If they don't find anything, I just think it's going to become like once the Republicans take place, now they're sending out these witch hunts to get Democrats. It's like whoever's in power is now going to take advantage of that FBI or the House or whatever it is. So it's now we're not the United States anymore. We're starting to turn into different countries, and we're using our power against the other political party in the United States.
To his point, really quickly, I wish that all of us would come together and say, listen, whether it's Biden, whether it's Hunter Biden, whether it's Pelosi, whether it's Trump.
I forgot about Hunter Biden, by the way.
All of them. Hold them accountable, please. Like, let that unify us. Nobody should be above the law. Yes, they would come to any of our homes or any of our viewers' homes. So if they're going to come to our homes, you better believe they should go to the 1% as well, because they've been getting away. The 1% has been getting away with things that none of the layman's people can get away with. So I wish, to your point, Jeff, that this would unify us and we just get all the corruption out. But I'm afraid that instead it's going to create more extreme violence.
Right, which we'll get to. I just quickly want to say, for those of you who don't know, the Department of Justice and President Biden are separate. There's checks and balances in judicial versus legislative versus executive, okay? He probably didn't know because they don't want him to have any culpability in this. So everyone's saying they're using the FBI. I don't think that's true. I think the FBI has its own head, Merrick Garland, and he's not speaking to Biden on purpose because constitutionally they're separate agencies.
I got to agree with you. I don't think Biden knows what's going on.
I don't think he can legally.
About a lot of things.
I don't think legally he can.
Let's
I hear you. I hear your sarcasm.
Thanks for
I
the joke.
appreciate it.
That was a joke, by the way. Thank you, Michael
Dean got it.
Yeah, thanks. No
we
one
all
else
got it. I got it.
Everyone's like, I agree. Jeff and Tori are on the same page.
No, I got it. We are then the Samantha Jones one, so you're good.
Oh man, that was classic.
All right, we're moving on. So speaking of what you have to say, how are everyday Trump loyalists taking all this? Jeff is right in the point of all of a sudden we're riling up that big crowd, right? They are rallying around the former president with people flocking to Mar-a-Lago to show the support. Palm Beach police have reportedly gotten intelligence warning that armed pro-Trump protesters are planning on attending. Meantime, there are even threats of violence, with some right-wing agitators now calling for war. Are we there?
Yeah.
I think we're there.
Can I just really quickly though, Jeff, because there are representatives. Now, a lot of people look at their representatives, rightfully so, as an authoritative figure, and they take notice. We saw that with the insurrection,
Absolutely.
right? They listen to them. They feel safe listening to their guidance. That's where it gets dangerous. So we have Florida Representative Andrew Sabatini saying it is time for us in the Florida legislature to call an emergency legislative session and amend our laws regarding federal agencies, meaning sever all ties with the DOJ immediately. So that's where we are out. Until we can elect actually sensible people that are going
candidates
that are going to unify us, we are going to continue to be divided.
I agree, but I also want to make sure our narrative is right. The narrative coming from the right is saying they're using the FBI.
Not all Republicans. Not all Republicans.
Okay, let me finish. The people who are supporting Trump are saying that. I really think that narrative will become fact when it isn't. I want to say on this panel, the FBI and the President Biden have nothing to do with each other, and that is a narrative that is a con. That is a con for you to take away the FBI and the Department of Justice, and that becomes fascism, because who's ruling? The president, aka the king. That's a problem. That's a problem.
I do know that I've seen a lot of Republicans speak out, though, on behalf of, protecting and supporting the blue and the FBI, and they are not.
No, this is a specific sector.
This is a very specific sector, so I just want to make sure that we say that when we try to paint with a broad brush all Republicans, because that's not true.
Agreed, but Trump.
And this is coming from a Democrat.
Agreed, but the Trump group is also leading in many, many ways, so they can't be ignored in that way. They are part of the Republican Party. They are part of it. They are a part of it.
And can we all agree that we want, if you did something corrupt, lock him up, lock her up, lock them all up. I don't care. Weed them out. I don't care what political party you're in. Can we just, for once, have elected officials that represent the people and not themselves?
Agree, but can we have voters understand that the FBI isn't against us? Because if we have that, we have fascism, and that's what I'm worried about.
I don't know if every voter is going to understand that,
I agree with you.
Because elected officials are telling them otherwise.
I agree. I agree. I agree. That's why we're here, right? Thank you, Samantha Jones. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you. Coming up on DBL, what really went down on the set of The Wonder Years? Well, the reboot. The new reports are coming in against Fred Savage, and tributes continue to pour in for Olivia Newton-John. How are her family plans to honor the beloved star. That's coming up next.
Closed cap.
I think it is one of those stories we're all going to be like, what?
So raised you.
Why am I right all the time? Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
Am I going crazy? Sex in the City.
All of it.
I'm just going to grab a thing. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, we're going to bump in with this
Whoa, all right, so we're getting
duet with her daughter.
updated on Olivia
Then we're gonna
Newton-John.
talk about state
I think her daughter put out a little tribute.
Sarah
Well,
Blakely.
they did a duet, so she
Remember
posted
that?
that yesterday
So there's a
about the
couple
duet.
things.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Is
That
that
affected a lot of people. I mean,
So let's put that in
unfortunately, people die every day.
Oh,
It's
okay.
sad, and especially people that we
Sarah
love.
Blakely.
But Olivia Newton-John touched a lot of people, and this is a big one, so we're going to get a little more information on that.
Not in the script.
I don't want to go back to the
Yes.
politics thing because
Ask the,
I frankly don't love
panel
it.
How much
And
did she pay? You
Fred
guys?
Savage. I am interested in talking about that because I am a big Fred Savage fan.
Is
And
he
if,
savage?
Dude, I
if this
love
is,
him.
all of a sudden nobody was talking. Now everyone's jumping in. Go for
Sorry,
it.
no, go ahead. I agree with Jeff, but I also, my eyes have been opened recently that I no longer want, even though I believe
Her husband was like, that singer looks like Olivia
all
Newton-John.
women, I do.
So,
I know that
and
there's
then-
an asterisk attached to that because I don't want to publicly say somebody is guilty without hearing all the facts, and I had to learn that personally recently. So, listen, the Fred Savage that I thought I knew, especially because we saw him with Kelly Ripa, so charming and adorable.
Yeah.
There may be another
If
side
these are
to it.
true, obviously my feelings are going to change about
Same.
Fred Savage, right?
Yes.
But there is some smoke there, and sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. But I like to do my due diligence. Let's hear him out. Let's hear the women out. that
There's
accused
many
him.
people that have accused him, so there definitely
Right,
is
but
smoke.
it does cloud, celebrity
Yes.
clouds your judgment, even for me, because I'm
Me
such a
too.
big fan
Yeah.
of Fred Savage.
Gotta wait and see.
The goal today with Olivia, she's got some.
Find we're not so different after all. Looking for a window in the wall.
Welcome back. That's Olivia Newton-John singing the song Window in the Wall with her daughter Chloe. Chloe posted the duet on Instagram to remember her late mother, bless you, who she called, quote, an angel on earth. Olivia passed away on Monday after a very courageous and open battle with breast cancer. And now Olivia's family in Australia says they have accepted the offer to give her a state funeral. Wow. Speaking on an Australian talk show, her niece said the country needs it because Olivia was so loved. Meantime, Spanx founder Sarah Blakely reflected on her friendship with Olivia and said as a child she went as far as to ring the doorbell at her home in California. She also revealed she won the pants Olivia wore in Greece at an auction and has them framed in her office. First of all, I just want to ask you guys, those pants, she had to be sewn in.
I know.
During Greece, she could not fit. The zipper was broken.
She couldn't use the restroom.
Couldn't use the restroom. Gotta go. You know what I mean? How much do you think she paid for the pants
Oh.
in the auction?
Okay, you go first, Jeff.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know. I didn't come up with it. Karen did.
Thanks, Karen. 25 grand.
Okay, those are iconic pants. I'm going to say 125.
Whoa. Wow.
250?
A little low. I shouldn't have gone like this
So
twice.
I was close.
You were. It's $162,000 for the pants.
That is iconic. I went
That is.
low. I
and
went
they
low.
mean everything, remember?
But you guys were telling me they were all ripped and stuff. So
Well, no, they had to sew her in, and then I'm sure they
Yeah.
carefully sewed her out.
So would you ever,
as in unsewn?
as in cutting, would you ever get a piece of memorabilia if you had the money? What would you spend and who, what celebrity would you get? I always want the Indiana Jones hat.
It's a good one.
I think somebody already owns
I think
that.
they do. Nick Cage or someone does.
Yeah, you're
right.
late.
I think I'm late.
Yeah, I say the same thing. The Russell Crowe Gladiator outfit. That's
Very
my favorite movie. That'd be like, imagine that, like in a lit up glass case when you walk into the house, and then I throw like things at you off the balcony. Make it like real experience.
Music on.
Yeah, maybe have a lion attack you.
Is it Hans Zimmer? Put that on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, and that would be my excuse at the end. Where are you going?
Gosh, that's the party trick. For me, it would be anything Disney.
You need to leave.
But I would want anything Disney. I would want like an autographed, like original, like Ursula.
Oh, wow.
Or like an autographed.
But what do you mean though? Ursula's a cartoon.
Yeah, I know. Like the drawing of her, the initial
The cell,
sketch.
like-
Can I tell you?
You want a drawing over like a piece of memorabilia?
Yes, I'm obsessed with Disney, and I got to go to the Frozen premiere when I had my exclusive with Kristen Bell. And when I was at the premiere, I got to meet some of the cartoonists.
Wow.
I got to meet, now there was a handful of cartoonists that did, I guess they do with every movie, there's not just one cartoonist, I didn't know that. But when I got to meet the handful of cartoonists who did The Little Mermaid.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Oh, they told me everything. They told
Sebastian?
me about Scuttle and little
played-
tricks with Scuttle and his mouth, and yeah. So I would want one of those original drawings.
Oh yeah.
With an autograph.
And that would get a lot of money. How much would you pay? A lot?
Yeah.
All right. Good answer. It's a dingle hopper. Remember that with
You're
Scuttle?
squeaking over there.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah,
this
it's
chair.
really loud.
I'm so sorry. You doing okay?
It's a weird one.
It is.
Today?
We're all
It's a weird
fuddled.
one.
Yeah. We're just gonna
We're
go
all
with it. Befuddled.
You said fuddled.
Yeah, you didn't say
Coming up on DBL. I knew someone would get it. We're learning more details about, this is interesting, Fred Savage's misconduct, the shocking new reports after the break. Stay with us.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a Verify viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing." All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back to DBL. The three of us have been talking about this a lot. Fred Savage is speaking out after some women accused him of sexual harassment on the Wonder Years Reboot set. Six female crew members spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about Fred's alleged sexual harassment. They are remaining anonymous, but the women say they saw 2 different sides to Fred. One that was this supportive colleague around other actors and executives, and I believe the kind that we see, right? And then there was this darker, angrier alter ego. One woman said one night out with some crew members, Fred pushed her up against a wall and, quote, put his mouth on her very forcefully. That's not good. In a statement, Fred said there are some incidents being reported that absolutely did not and could not have happened. So he's denying some of that, but added, quote, "Any one person who feels hurt or offended by my actions is one person too many. I will work to address and change any behavior that has negatively affected anyone." we're all kind of disappointed up here. Not that we know anything. We shouldn't make anyone guilty, but 6 women is a lot of people coming forward. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, usually when there's smoke, unfortunately, there might be a little something there, right? There might be a little fire. I'm biased in this, even though I love to see both sides, whether it be politically or celebrity, but sometimes celebrity could pull the wool over even my eyes, right?
Totally.
I'm a big fan of Fred Savage. I think he should have got that job, even though I love Ryan Seacrest. I'm a big fan. He seems like a good guy, but sometimes it's not all. Oh, I don't want to say the wrong word here because it's Sam's here. It's not all. Chalked up. No, it's not all. Chalked up
to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but is it chalked?
Yeah. You were asking me.
Because I looked at you and then I wanted to make sure I got it right because I knew you were going to make fun of me.
I don't ever say anything.
But sometimes what you see on television isn't who the real person is. So hopefully this isn't true. But like I said, 6 people.
Listen, I want to believe the alleged victims, and I've learned recently that through personal experience that sometimes there are 2 sides to every story. And so I'm going to wait till I hear all the facts. I also know that there have been a number of people speaking out in support of Fred Savage. So I'm going to wait to hear the facts on this one.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think we are learning as a society to, I call it the Aziz Ansari, to slow down, let's wait, let's not rush to judgment. For me, 6 says a lot. It's not 1, it's not 2.
But there's also a varying degree in the egregiousness. Like,
agreed.
Is somebody being an a-hole on set? I hope I can say that. I'm sorry, Chris. Sorry.
Probably not.
Is that criminal?
Right.
Is somebody who pushed someone against the wall and tried to kiss them, was that misconstrued? Obviously, that could be sexual assault, but that obviously could be misconstrued too. So, again, I want to wait till I hear all the facts.
I like that you're saying that because 1.5 years ago, had I said that on television, it seriously would have been a problem.
It's a different climate.
Right?
You're
So believe all women all the time, no matter what.
Survivors.
That was 1.5 years. And if I didn't spew that out, I was to blame as well. I was part of the problem. So I'm glad we're coming around culturally. Doesn't mean that Fred is in the right by any means, but that our thinking as a society is kind of balancing out. So I am happy about that.
We have to wait till we hear the facts.
The pendulum is swinging. Is that what you're saying? I'll also say this. In 2018, just so you know, a costume designer on The Grinder, another show, did file a lawsuit against Fred, accusing him of verbally and physically assaulting. So some facts are there, but you're right. Let's wait until everything comes, but smoke, little smoky. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big Pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. and an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know. Welcome back. If you haven't noticed, it's still one hot summer, and we haven't seen the last of record-breaking temperatures. So if you're feeling overheated, you can instantly cool down by wrapping a cool, wet towel around your neck. But that's not the only way to beat the heat. Here are some other quick ways to cool down, sponsored by Sunset.
That works, by the way.
It does. For
Yeah,
athletes,
definitely.
they do that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Tennis players. Did you know you can create a cool breeze just by setting a large bowl of ice water in front of a fan? And instead of a pool, you can cool down by dipping your feet into cold water up to your ankles. Also, keep skin products like lotion and sunscreen in the fridge if you want a refreshing snack that can help you cool off. Frozen fruit can also increase your water take. Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning with affordable custom features without the custom price. Spend more time outside, get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. So call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last.
Just a little FYI, don't eat the sunscreen.
Don't eat the sunscreen.
That's
eat
right.
the grapes.
That's right.
That's very fair.
Frozen water bottle. When I was broke in Hollywood all those years and had no air conditioning, frozen water bottle tied to the tummy.
Smart.
Yep. Just take like a
Very
belt
smart.
or a sweatshirt, tie it to the tummy.
Brilliant.
Makes you cool down head to toe. Right
DIY.
There. Yes.
Very smart. I want to get to this very good story before we go. There is a scary moment, but it was during the Little League World Series last night. It's going viral.
Oh, no.
He is okay, but this looks scary. The pitcher hits a kid, in the helmet. The player hits the ground holding his head in deep pain. It was very awful to watch. But after he made it to first base, I'm going to cry, he saw that the pitcher was upset. And he walked to the mound and he hugged him and he told him he was doing great. The moment also inspired the whole rest of the pitcher's team to run to the mound to comfort him. I just think that kind of sportsman, we can learn a lot from that kid in blue.
Kids over adults, right? You see parents like fighting at sporting events, and then this is how we should all be acting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how, that's local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Am I going crazy?
I just love your passion right now.
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, let me get on it. You just got me all riled up.
So
Who raised
Yes.
you?
This is a win, right, guys? Why am I right all the time?
I live my life for Spike.
Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
I didn't expect that. I love this segment.
Yes.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year. DBL is all new every day.
this make him reconsider a 2024 run? Olivia Newton-John's good friend Jane Seymour will be here live to talk about their incredible bond of more than 40 years. What really happened with Fred Savage on the Wonder Years reboot set? The inappropriate behavior he's being accused of by many female coworkers. And a life coach reveals the psychological tricks that will make you look like the most attractive person in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Yeah, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
So welcome to DBL. We were just talking about having Jane Seymour on the show, and the fact that as much as we all love her, and she's been on the show before, but the fact that she's here specifically to honor her friend Olivia Newton-John is chilling.
Yeah, 40 years, that's a real friendship. So
I know.
I can't wait to speak with her and hear her stories.
Stay tuned for that. But we do begin, and I know I'm already reading your comments. You all have a lot to say, and believe it or not, our audience is definitely divided on this. So former President Trump is in New York today, where he is getting deposed in an investigation into his business dealings. He's refusing to answer questions, taking his Fifth Amendment right now, actually, to not incriminate himself. So meantime, there's a ton of fallout from Monday's FBI search of his home at Mar-a-Lago. Trump is reportedly feeling, quote unquote, furious yet scared. That's according to People magazine. Now, he feels victimized and is calling everyone he trusts to give him advice and reassure him that this is a witch hunt. He's also saying that Biden knew all about this. We've also got new details on the raid itself. So agents spent 9.5 hours searching the property, reportedly focusing on Trump's office and personal quarters. Although some are reporting they also searched Melania's wardrobe. They took away about a dozen boxes of material. We now have 90 days, you guys, before the midterm election, with many expecting Trump to announce his candidacy soon. But the question that a lot of people are asking, including our very own viewers, is Trump a victim of government overreach? What would you say to that, Tori?
I want people to be really clear. There's a narrative emerging from the Trump people that the FBI needs to be defunded. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted it. Get rid of the entire Department of Justice. They're all political. And if you don't know, the Department of Justice is in a very different branch of the government than the president. They specifically don't speak. I would be surprised if Biden knew about the raid beforehand. That's how separate they're supposed to be, because they're judicial, he's executive. If you keep hearing over and over again that they're using the FBI to go after people, that is a lie. That is not true at all. In fact, Trump appointed him to be at the FBI. When you use that, you start to tell people, don't trust the Justice Department, don't trust the courts, don't trust the teachers, don't trust the scientists. Who do you trust then? The king, the one man. That's how you get to a dictatorship. That's how you get to fascism. The FBI has done nothing other than ordered an affidavit which identifies the person, the place to be searched, it identifies the property, it establishes the grounds for the search. They did it legally. And Trump, when they say if the FBI did it to Trump, they could do it to everyone, that's how laws work. He's not above the law. If he took classified documents wrongly, we should find out, period.
Yeah, I think where the pushback comes from, and what you're talking about is very extreme, right? We see the extreme Trumps, we see the extreme Republicans, we see the extreme Democrats. There's still like 80% of the country that's just trying to rationalize everything. And I think a lot of the pushback from the Republicans is that, well,
there's the Republicans or the Trump Republicans, because they're two different things.
Just in general, Republicans. I don't talk about any extremists at all because I don't care what they have to say on either side. So the general Republican public, right, is saying, well, you're doing this to Trump, right? What about what's going on with Nancy Pelosi and her husband? What's happening there? What about the Hunter Biden laptop? What's going on there? What about the Clintons? Why don't we look into that? If we're going to raid Trump's place, why don't we raid some of these places? That's the rhetoric that other people are pushing back, right? I'm just repeating that. And my own thing is like, if you're going to take this power as Democrats, right, as soon as Republicans get that power, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to start sending FBI agents out. And now we're not living in a democratic society, which means the United States. We're starting to become like Venezuela. We're starting to become, where you said, like a dictatorship, one leader. And I feel like a lot of people, and me included, I just want to put this out there. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. Me included, I kind of feeling like I'm being pushed into a corner just by who I am in general. People assume that I am a Republican. People assume that I'm a Trumper. People assume a lot of things about me that aren't true. And I feel like that's the government and social media pushing back on that. So I don't necessarily, if something's wrong and there is something there, definitely get it. I'm with you on that.
Right.
But if they find nothing or nothing substantial, this is just uniting the Republican Party with the Trumpers and riling them up for the November election, which is midterms 90 days away.
Right. And to that point, and Tori just responded to this, including what Jeff said, how are everyday Trump loyalists taking all of this? So supporters are still rallying around the former president, with people flocking to Mar-a-Lago to show their support. Now, Palm Beach police have reportedly gotten intelligence warning that armed pro-Trump protesters are planning on attending. Meantime, there are even threats of violence, with some right-wing agitators calling for war. So Jeff's point,
I agree with
extremism.
I agree with him.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned for some people calling for guns, some people saying, when do we start the war? This is on Twitter. These are people with check marks by their name. I'm concerned about a civil war. I think we all should be at this point. It's becoming two very different societies. But you don't like to be conned, right? You don't like when people con you. None of us do.
I like James Caan.
I do. May he rest.
Yes.
Right? Oh, my God.
I thought we needed a little levity.
We did.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Go for it.
you.
Go for
I
it.
can't do this. I will just say this. When you're being told that the next president will do this to the FBI and this president's doing to the FBI, that's not true. You're being lied to. That isn't happening.
About what am I being lied to about?
When people say they're using the FBI to go give a search warrant to go.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying when people are saying.
But I don't appreciate, and I'm saying this respectfully, right? Maybe some people online might feel that way too. I don't like that you're telling me or other people that we're being conned. Because I have my own thoughts. I like some Republican thoughts. But the rhetoric that you're just saying gets people agitated.
But there are facts and then they're not facts, and you're learning non-facts. And that's what I think is unfair. It's going to cause a civil war.
You used me as an example.
I mean,
don't use me as an example.
Okay. Those people who are very much believing in the sentiment of Trump are being told something that is a genuine, subjective, and objective lie. The FBI is not being politicized. The Department of Justice is doing what they do with a warrant, with an affidavit, and with enough probable cause to do that. If we believe that the FBI is political, then we can cause a civil war for no reason. Over a lie.
What percentage do you think wants to start a civil war or believes that? Like in your mind, what percentage?
Did you see the armed Trump protesters there?
I want to say that's giving them credit. Maybe 10% of the country thinks that extreme.
How do you think that Trump got 71 million votes the second time around?
I'm not saying that other people aren't Trump supporters in their own way. I would say 40%. I would say I'm right on. 10% are extreme. The other 40% I would say are like, I like Trump, but I'm not saying a damn word.
Agree, but the 10% almost had a coup in this country.
You're right,
and
I don't agree with it. And I'm totally with you on that.
And what I think is going to happen is that rhetoric will become the narrative, and it isn't true. The entire people's lives will be lost over this idea that the FBI is being politicized when it isn't.
But aren't you pushing the narrative from the other side, though, the 10% on that side now?
We're going to continue this conversation in our break. This is literally the conversation that I feel like everybody's having in their household, so make sure you go to our YouTube. Coming up on DBL, Ryan Reynolds spills the insane purchase he made without telling his wife. Do you run purchases past your partner? And a Game of Thrones actor wants to do away with intimacy coaches on set. Why a lot of people are not happy about his take. And Jane Seymour is here live. There she is. She is sharing her favorite memories about her longtime friend, Olivia Newton-John. Stay with us.
Closed captioning provided by...
It's so easy.
Am I going crazy?
So
raised you. Why am I right all the time? Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year. Thought it was
That was the way to go.
Thought it was fantastic. Good job, you two.
Yeah, and it was civil.
And it was respectful.
It was, I don't. It was very, very respectful.
Yes.
Well, let's continue. Okay, so we're going to continue the conversation. I thought You know, Tori and Jeff are the example of, listen, I know everybody's having these conversations, whether it's on social media or whether it's in your own household, and it gets very divisive and vitriolic, if that's even a word. But that's the point, though. The point is a lot of people want to create divide. We need to use this to unify. If that means let's make sure that everyone's held accountable that's corrupt, or just having conversations that you actually listen, like you two did, that's the example.
And I just want people to have their freedom of thinking, right? And when I gave that example of Hunter Biden, that's rhetoric that you see online. And I think a lot of people just take what they see and just kind of spew out the same rhetoric, like you said about the FBI. I think a lot of people just take that and spew that out. And I'm not with that, right? I don't like that philosophy. I like to think for myself. Critical thinking. Right, and just kind of have my own pros and cons about things and try to see things fairly. And I know some people might think I'm biased too. I probably come with some biases. But to take rhetoric off the internet and spew that, that's what the problem is.
What we're saying is the same thing.
Right.
And offend is, I don't like the lying and the rhetoric that's conning people. He doesn't like to be conned. And we're both saying the social media is getting the best of it. And we might start a war because of nothing.
Right.
And that's what Europeans are saying to us. They're looking over and then say, this is a nothing burger.
Right.
That's not true, and you're getting used. And now you can debate which side you think is being used, but someone's getting used here.
I do like saying the former president's residence. I do like saying that.
Gosh, welcome back to DBL. That was the iconic Summer Nights. We all know the words. That's, of course, from Greece. We just love that song, and we're continuing to honor Olivia Newton-John's legacy. Her family has also accepted the offer of a state funeral in Australia. Definitely appropriate, well-deserved. Joining us live now is Jane Seymour, actress and longtime friend of Olivia's. Jane, we had you on our show not too long ago, and while we are elated to have you back, I know it's under very difficult circumstances. We are so sorry to hear about the passing of your good friend, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know, we all knew that she would pass in the not too distant future, but, you know, when it happens, you've lost this bright light in the world, you know, and I just think that everyone who's honoring her, I mean, I feel like she's watching all of this, and she's so excited that her message, her positivity is being put out there, because she was a really remarkable woman who I had the privilege of being very good friends with.
Yeah, I thought about, I'm so sorry. That was.
Oh, no, I was just her legacy, I would say, people say she sparkled, she was kind. Like, that's all that should matter, right? What was your last conversation with Olivia like?
I was there with my sisters. We went out to the ranch. You know, she didn't let many people come out there. She was incredibly frail. And she'd got the day wrong. So we arrived and she was still in bed and obviously not expecting any company. And somehow or other, the people around her kind of, you know, she wanted to come out. So they kind of dressed her up and brought her out. And all she wanted to know was about us. She wanted to know how my sisters were doing, and she wanted to know and talk about our mutual friends who were going through cancer right now. She wanted to know about my kids, my life. And then, you know, she just had this glow in her face, and she just said, you know, the pain had been really bad and that John was doing amazing things trying to help her deal with the pain. And she just looked around. She said, "Isn't it lovely here?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You know, I sit out here and look at the hummingbirds and look at the sky and look at the dogs." And she just said, you know, she loved life. And I think she honestly hung on way longer than anyone ever imagined. And I believe she did it because she just wanted to make sure Chloe was going to be okay.
Wow. Yeah, the hummingbirds, the dogs, just the simple, ordinary things. What I think is so extraordinary, and wanted your take on this, she seems so deliberately positive. Like, she manifested that she would not speak ill of her body because she thought that could then happen. Can you talk about that? And then also just about your 40-year friendship. Does anything stand out? I assume this trait, maybe.
I know, I absolutely. I mean, we're on the same page about everything. I mean, we have absolutely the same values, the same belief system, all of it. And that's, you know, part of what our relationship was. We also had children around the same time. And because I had a kid and I was, you know, very busy as an actress at the time, she kind of looked at me and said, how do you do that? And jokingly, I said, you know how to make a baby? She said, no, how do you do it all? How do you have a career and raise a child? And so I would say in the 40 years that we really were talking to one another, it was always, you know, how do you do it? How's it going with your kid? And then our kids worked together and we were kind of behind the scenes letting them shine, and that was magic. And oh gosh, so many magic moments. But she was very down to earth, you know, and very humble. In fact, I don't think she ever mentioned to me that she got the damehood. I mean, that was never, I found, looked on the website, oh, she got the damehood.
Everyone would know if I got a damehood. Everyone would know.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. But all she you know, she was the rock for her family. I mean, I knew her because of her sister Rona, who had a lot of ups and downs and passed a while ago. And I came to this country with Rona and her new little baby, Emerson, who I just spoke to the other day. And you know, I know her sister's kids, you know, older kids now in Australia. So I've sort of been in some ways like a part of the family. But really for me, and that's what really made me cry the other day, is she was totally the closest friend I could ever have in the world that would understand from the inside what it's like to be her or me and have, you know, the world that we're in, the sort of vortex we're in, plus trying to have a life and find love and have committed relationships and children who were happy and were able to thrive. And we also had in common the fact that we're very open and we want to help people. And, you know, she just said, hey, I have cancer. I'm going to let the world know what this looks like. And I'm going to really share with them that it's a body, mind, and spirit experience, as is life. And wellness is all of it. It's about being happy in your own skin. It's about living with and thriving with cancer.
Yeah,
Jane,
that's what she did.
Jane, I just want to send my admirations to you because you came on this show and you just want to talk all about your friend, and you talked about Olivia hanging on. It's because she had love and friends like you who cared more about her than themselves. So I think that's a very admirable quality that you have. But I just wanted to pass on that compliment. But I think everyone was moved to tears, me included, by John Travolta's tribute post. Do you think Olivia knew how much he loved her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you know, I've had the privilege of knowing John. I actually made a movie with his wife, his late wife, Kelly. And there was there's very, very special bond between them. I mean, very much so. Yes.
What about her character as Sandy? Everyone knows her as Sandy. Did she embrace that, or did she want to be something else?
No, I think there was a lot of Sandy in her. You know, I think Olivia, you know, was very happy to be the goody-goody kind of person, and she loved to just, you know, slick it up and put on the leather jacket, and she was total rock chick, total. I mean, I have that in common with her too. You know, I was always thought of as, oh, Dr. Quinn, you know, played virgins my whole life. And then I got to make a movie where I got to put a leather jacket on. I went, you know what? I really like this. I like rock chick. I have more leather jackets than you could possibly imagine.
I love
Dr.
that.
Quinn.
Sam too.
Yeah, Sam too.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Okay, we only have a minute left, but I have to hear from you. What does she leave behind for those still battling cancer, in your opinion?
What she's just done recently, just before she passed, when she was still able to, was unbelievable. She actually personally spoke to at least 3 people I know very close to me who are battling cancer right now. And what she's done for the world is she has opened up this conversation. And she built this extraordinary hospital in Melbourne, which I had the privilege of being in. And she called me one time when she was in the hospital, and she said, "You'll never guess where I am. I'm in the hospital." And I said, "Oh, you're visiting. Isn't it great?" She said, "No, I'm here as a patient." And I never imagined this would happen. She said, "But what I built," she said, "I'm so proud of it. They're taking such great care of me. And it's everything I wanted. I wanted there to be a place where body, mind, and spirit were healed." And I think she gave people hope, because none of us live forever, okay? So I think what she did is even beyond cancer. She's just saying how to be grateful, how to be gracious, how to thrive on every moment of life we have, how to see the beauty in life rather than the negative. And I heard what you were talking about earlier. I mean, she was just looking out and just saying, aren't we lucky to be alive? Aren't we lucky to love and be loved? Aren't we lucky to be in this body and to have this mind and to be able to pursue our passions and help one another? And that's where we totally bonded.
Jane, I can't imagine how difficult this is for you. We so appreciate you honoring your friend.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a Verify viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing." All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. So a scary moment during the Little League World Series last night is going viral. Okay, the pitcher threw a ball that hit the batter in his helmet. The player hit the ground, holding his head in pain. But after he made it to first base, he saw that the pitcher was upset about the hit. So he walked to the mound, hugged him, and told him he was doing great. The moment also inspired the rest of the pitcher's team to run to the mound to comfort him. Wow. If we could all learn from the kids.
I love the Little League World Series. It's going on right now. The sportsmanship, the camaraderie, the enthusiasm just to be there. I mean, I think some of the pros could learn from these 12-year-olds.
That little kid in blue just showed us all what we should have been, that adults are not missing, with courtesy and decency. What a beautiful moment. I'm glad he's okay, first off, and thank God for the helmet, but to have the decency to walk over and give a hug.
This is our future.
I'm so proud.
Me too. Thank God.
Shout out to the 86 Norwich Little League team. My brother, they made 5th in the world.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Wow. We'll be right back. Shout out to them. Norwich.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big Pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
We are out of time for now. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. What really went down on the set of the Wonder Years reboot? The shocking new reports coming in against Fred Savage. And Ryan Reynolds opens up about making a massive purchase without telling his wife. Yeah, why he says they're still working through it.
Millions of Americans have diabetes and need insulin to survive, but the price of the drug is often expensive. The Inflation Reduction Act, a bill recently passed by the U.S. Senate, which in part aims to lower rising costs of goods while paying down the nation's debt, also includes provisions to make healthcare more affordable. But there are a lot of tweets like this one on social media claiming that Senate Republicans just succeeded in stripping the $35 per month insulin price cap from the bill, keeping insulin prices high for Americans. So let's verify. Was the price cap on insulin removed from the Inflation Reduction Act? Our sources are the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This claim needs some context. The final version of the Inflation Reduction Act, passed by the Senate, does cap insulin prices for some people, but not for as many as originally intended. Let me explain. The original text of the bill capped insulin prices for both Medicare and private insurance patients at $35 a month. But the cap for patients with private insurance ran afoul of Senate rules, forcing a separate vote on that provision, which failed to get enough Republican support to pass. As a result, the approved bill caps insulin prices at $35 a month for Medicare patients only. More than 63 million Americans are enrolled in Medicare, and 1 out of every 3 Medicare patients has diabetes, according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So we can verify that the Inflation Reduction Act still contains a price cap on insulin, but it only applies to Medicare patients and not for people with private insurance. With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So Fred Savage is speaking out after some women accused him of sexual harassment on the Wonder Years Reboot set. So 6 female crew members spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about Fred's alleged sexual harassment. The women say they saw 2 different sides to Fred, one that was a supportive colleague around other actors and executives, but then juxtaposed that to a darker, angrier alter ego. One woman said, on a night out with some crew members, Fred pushed her against a wall and, quote, put his mouth on her very forcefully. In a statement, Fred said there are some incidents being reported that absolutely did not and could not have happened, but added, quote, any one person who feels hurt or offended by my actions is one person too many. I will work to address and change any behavior that has negatively affected anyone. Tori, who do you believe and what do you think about his response?
I'm always going to believe people that come forward and say that because the majority of people that do it aren't lying. But I want us to just address sort of the elephant in the room here. Everybody wants this to not be true, even out there watching, right? We all don't like to hear that Fred Savage is like a jerk. Allegedly, excuse me, you're absolutely right. But it's because we grew up with him, right? Princess Bride, he was the baby reading with Peter Falk, the book. Wonder Years, he was all of us being a teenager, right? We heard his voice in our heads. Even if he's unlikable, 6 women to me makes me think a little bit differently. He's had a 2018 lawsuit filed against him on the Grindr, and she said it was verbally and physical. So 6 women are saying things like that. I'm hearing you're getting pushed up allegedly against the wall. Not good. And I don't want to say I like him and therefore I don't hold him accountable. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and I'm kind of with you, right? I might be blinded by his celebrity,
Right.
like a lot of people, you know, and I try to differentiate things,
Charming.
whether it be politics or celebrity, but it's tough because I really like Fred Savage, you know, and this will kind of sour that love I have for him. I write down my goals every year. He's at the top of people I want to interview. And, you know, I want to believe him, but 6 people, like you said, and especially the time we live in, even if it's misconstrued, like I could see that side as well. Like if you're 40, which I am, 44, and going out with a 20-year-old, some things that you did growing up might not be appropriate today, right? Even if you don't mean it. But 6 of them makes me feel like there might be something there, unfortunately.
Yeah, there does seem to be a pattern of behavior, and there is a lot of smoke. And, you know, we see too many times, too often than not, that when there's smoke, there is fire. And perhaps this is a wildfire. I just want to wait to see all the facts. And I'm not, in no way, shape, or form is that me saying that these 6 individuals are lying or exaggerating. This is just me wanting to wait to hear both sides of the story before I come up. And that's something I'm going to be working on.
I applaud that.
Me too.
I applaud that because, you know, just a year and a half ago, just saying that would get you in trouble. You would be canceled along with Fred Savage because you're 100% not on those women's sides. And I think getting down to what the problem is and what really happened is what we should all be worried about, right? And hold people accountable or not accountable and find out the facts. So I applaud you for saying that.
Well, thank you. We'll have to wait and see if it's criminal or not, right? Okay, so Ryan Reynolds says he's still in the doghouse over a big purchase he made last year. Okay, so while on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Ryan revealed that he never really talked to his wife, Blake Lively, about buying 1/2 of a Welsh soccer team. Yeah, take a look.
And I remember showing up, seeing Blake and saying, you know, I have bad news and I have really bad news. The really bad news is that, you know, I might have bought half of a 5th-tier National Football League in Wales.
What was her reaction?
Not good, Rob.
No.
No, not great.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're still working through that one.
Oh my gosh, Ryan and his friend comedian Rob McElhenney paid $2.5 million for the team. That's a big purchase to not consult with your partner with. Have you ever made any crazy purchases that
I like he goes, how did that go? Not good, Rob.
Not good.
It was funny. I love Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I love Ryan Reynolds. The only thing that I did, but I usually consult my wife about everything. I can't say the same thing about her.
Oh.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Yeah, but I did buy a sauna one time because I was contracted to do this job. I got fired the day before I was supposed to do this job, and then I bought a sauna. So I was like, well, that was going to pay for the sauna, but now we have a sauna.
Now I can heat myself up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a fancy sauna too. It has lights, it has music.
Do you like
No, first of all, it's a box for people out there thinking I have like this steam room.
It sounds like you
It's
do.
a box and the lights are therapeutic.
Okay, they look like they're you. When he sends us a picture sometimes, like it looks like you're having a rave in there.
Yeah. It's like a European
doesn't.
discotheque.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it looks like a discotheque.
It does, yes. Yeah, it does.
I think I've done it on hair extensions.
Oh my gosh, yes, you.
And I think I
Yes.
haven't told. I've bought a lot of fake hair.
I think I've
Right?
exaggerated about.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
done
right there with you. I don't really purchase like clothes or
Right.
shoes. I rent them like you do on Rent the Runway, so that's not an issue. But when it comes to hair is expensive.
It is.
And I still don't think I tell my husband exactly what that cost is.
Makeup,
No,
facials,
hair.
whatever you
Mainly
guys,
hair.
all the stuff.
Botox.
That stuff. Listen, I've cut whiffs of how much it is, and I don't like
I
it.
round down.
Oh,
How
yeah.
much was your hair color? 140, or whatever it may be.
Have you seen someone?
Times 3.
Someone went viral because it says, "What's Ulta? Why are you spending on Ulta?" And someone goes, "Oh, it's utilities." And he goes, "Oh, great," moves on.
All right, so Game of Thrones actor Sean Bean is taking some heat over comments he made about sex scenes on set. Speaking to the Times of London, Sean said intimacy coordinators who help make actors feel safe during sex scenes can spoil the spontaneity. He said the coordinators would inhibit him because it's drawing attention to things and bringing it down to quote-unquote technical exercise. Actress Rachel Zegler spoke out, tweeting, quote, "Spontaneity in intimate scenes can be unsafe. Wake up." And actress Jamila Jamil said, quote, "Sex scenes should only be technical. It's like a stunt. Our job as actors is not to make it not look technical. Nobody wants an impromptu grope."
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
Sean Bean kind of stepped in this one. I really like him, but the whole point is that it's not spontaneous because that's when women got groped for years and years and years, and they had no voice or platform to say anything. So having the intimacy coach there is, of course, what you need, and he just hasn't understood it. He hasn't understood the Me Too movement. That's just someone that has not understood that someone's done that to someone before. He wants it to be all raunchy and sexy. So do we. But as an actor, that's a dance. That's a choreographed, technical blocking move. My hand goes here, your lips go there. You can make it look sexy. I probably couldn't.
So personal too.
Yeah.
You're married. If one person's married, if you just have a previous trauma, and you have to be careful in situations like this. You're no stranger to intimate scenes. Now, and we're gonna get to a scene. Don't worry, we have it. But when you did it, would you have rather had it very blocked out and technical, or would you rather have had the director be like, just go?
Blocked out. Definitely, definitely. Because that, number one, it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable, not sexual by any means, at least in my case.
It was a music
Which
video.
we'll see. It was a music video, yes. It's you're already uncomfortable, and I'd rather just be like, hey, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Makes me feel comfortable. I would assume it makes her feel comfortable. But for Sean, I'm not defending him. If he is attached to the art, you want it to make it look as natural as possible. I think that's where he's coming from. But in the time that we live in,
he didn't get it.
Man, you got to choreograph that stuff just like anything else.
Right, agreed.
Roll it.
So I wish they told me not to do that.
How about this part?
Listen,
in the tub?
because she cut her toe. We already been over this.
God,
oh my God, the groping.
Oh my God. You were eating her face.
I can't even defend myself.
I can't even look. I can't.
Listen, where's Tori's where she assaulted somebody?
Yeah, you pretty much did.
I did.
Yours.
But that's a true story. Madonna, I played Madonna in a biopic. You can look it up.
Tori likes it. Even if it's accusing her of assault, she's like, I did.
No, Madonna went up to it famously. DJ gave her the cassette and then kissed the DJ.
We don't have it?
And he played it, her song. That's how she first got into the clubs.
Maybe by the end we'll have Tori's infamous assault.
It might be in the hands of the FBI after.
Allege. Okay, so Drake is trolling his dad over a tattoo. So his dad reportedly got a tattoo of Drake's face inked on his arm 5 years ago, okay? Drake posted that the tattoo with the caption, "I was just sitting here thinking, why'd you do me like this? We're family." His dad responded by saying he's had 16 people try to straighten it out. For the record, Drake also seems to have his dad's face tattooed on his arm.
Can we go back for a second, Sam? Look at this. Can we go? That first off is a great tattoo, but that he looks like he's smelling the armpit, doesn't it?
Ew,
the placement is so bad.
Well, it looks just like Blue Steel from Zoolander. I think we have a side by side. Oh no.
Wow. Now Drake hates even more after that. Side by side. Is that tattoo of the dad real? Is that a real or is that a joke?
No, I think he has a
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I like how detailed it was.
Yeah, his dad's is cool.
Very
it's
good.
Like super
Very well
like
done.
70s.
Did he do that out of spite, you think?
I assume.
Doesn't he have a lot of like, what are his other tattoos? They're all of, is it all his family members?
Yeah, he has a certain theme to his tattoos.
Right.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, he had a bar mitzvah. I love that guy.
I would think so.
Half Jewish. I love that guy.
I would imagine he did.
We should do a fun fact segment about Drake. I didn't know any of that.
I know. All right. Let's get to the next story, shall we?
I'm excited to see what it is.
The prompter slowly scrolls. Before we go, some pups took part in the World Dogs. Oh my God!
I'm so
World Dog Surfing Championships in California. Dogs like Charlie couldn't wait to get their surfboard in the water. There he is taking part in the tandem surfing event with another pooch, catching a wave on the board by himself.
No, someone pushed them. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got help.
They need a little bit of help because they can't paddle.
But
bro.
don't say by themselves.
They can't paddle.
They don't have opposable thumbs.
Good one.
Thanks.
Good one, Fokker.
Exactly. Charlie came in second place and even took home some doggy surfing swag. What a good boy. Some White Claw.
That's weird.
Does the owner who actually swam out there and pushed them get anything?
No, but he had to balance and understand.
He had to sit there.
No, he has to do this on
No,
surfing.
he doesn't.
Sam can tell you have to balance.
Oh, yes. First of all,
He has 4 legs.
That's true.
I bet it's easier for the dog to surf than for a human to surf.
Yeah, so he didn't really do anything.
Yes, he did.
They just stood there.
Aww.
Look at, see, that guy did all the work.
No, look at him. Look, he has to stand there.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And his tail's wagging. He loves it. Oh,
He loves it because it's getting rocked around by the waves. He doesn't like it.
Of course. Well, you don't know that. His tail was wagging. I
So
hope
you
he liked
just
it.
assume if they went parachuting, they'd like that too?
Well, he
they would
dragged
not
the
like
thing out as
parachuting.
if, let me out, let me out.
I know. I'm just trying to make it fun.
Okay. I love to surf. Do you love to surf? Nope. Coming up on DBL. Things you can do right now to appear more attractive.
Oh, I need this.
We've got, you do not need this, but we do got the list. It's coming after the break.
So awkward.
We emailed it to you.
Closed captioning provided by
DBL is all new every day.
Okay, if you are with us, you are now following. Yes, please. So you're following here.
Every time ad-lib.
We have Drake tattoos. What we didn't know is that Drake has all people's faces on there. So we have, I'm going to look them all up. Drake's 35 tattoos in their meeting. He has Lil Wayne.
Which I went to the Drake Lil Wayne concert.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Really?
So this was about 10 years ago at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, wow. And let me tell you, their camaraderie was quite cute. They fully had a bromance. I say that respectfully. So they would their whole concert was them, they would each perform a song. They'd always come out together. And they would all, you know how different artists will speak to the crowd? They would speak to the crowd about stories about one another. Oh, that's really nice. Super cute relationship. Super cute. They probably hate that I'm talking about them this way.
Yeah, they're probably watching.
How about this, Sam? A Drakkar Noir cologne bottle tattooed.
Drakkar, that was back in the day.
Remember this one? Drakkar Noir. Do you remember that?
Can you imagine advertising tattoos?
That smells like 1991. She wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Cool Water. Remember that? No, she doesn't remember. Sade Adu portrait. That's beautiful. A jack-o'-lantern. Eyes of Hour. Oh, look, that's a beautiful one. East Side Compass.
Well, I know.
Oh, that's cool. This is, I think, German. Oktober Legendharter. No, that's Danish or Swedish or Icelandic. What's Swedish? It means October Lionhearted. This guy's fascinating. All kind. He has an owl.
Some guy got one on his face.
Oh, and then he has everything happens for a reason. Sweet thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I want a tattoo real bad. I can't wait. If you think I should get one, let me know. Nobody else thinks I should. My mother, my husband, nobody else. I want slow and down on each foot.
He's got like a ton of his family on his back.
Yeah.
Five psychology tricks to be the most attractive person in the room. 1. Use your hands when you talk. Gesticulating and using your hands makes you seem more confident and more engaging.
Her accent is sexy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, welcome back. It's not just gesturing with your hands that can make you seem more attractive. According to a dating coach, another way to boost your attractiveness is by talking slowly. Should we give it a try, Tori?
Hey, I guess we should, shouldn't we, Sam? I'm not good
Well, that debunked that theory.
I'm really bad I'm very bad with speaking slowly.
You're not even speaking slow. You're just speaking with a beautiful, deep, breathy voice.
Thank you.
Another step you can take, smile authentically. So what's your best smile, Jeff? Be authentic.
Well, I can't now.
Do it.
You have to tell me a joke.
Okay, shoot, I don't know.
Do the green pepper.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't, now we're gonna do your smile.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't practice archery?
Something arrow.
Because he didn't habanero.
You
didn't even get her smile. That was a real one. That was a real one. Okay.
Okay, finally.
That's a good joke.
It's a really good joke. That's a really good one. It's such a dad joke.
Yeah.
Finally having a sensual energy.
You have this. I do not.
I do not.
I do not
You're
have this.
crazy to think that I have this.
I think you walk in like a leopard. You walk in like a panther.
Sierra gave me like a
and I walk in like hello.
I don't agree with you, but thank you. That makes me very. I feel very like.
That was a nice. The panther thing.
She does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a good.
She kind of swans and glides.
No, stop it right now. Now I feel like I have something to live up to.
No, I'm just saying.
Swans and glides.
Well, she comes in with a more of a liquid feeling than I come in with. It's like hello.
Okay,
No,
full disclosure, she started the show and sprayed herself with Downy, and she was soaking wet like a cat, like a wet cat.
Speaking of wet, apparently having wet hair. Stop it right now, Jeffrey. Stop it right now. Stop. Apparently having wet hair will make you more attractive, but does wet hair really make you sexier? Let's find out.
What do you mean?
Tori, take a look.
What do you mean? Oh no!
Oh, wait, that is a cute outfit.
That's
What
not
top
my
is that?
outfit. That's not my body.
Oh, they just put you.
You look like a wet koala.
Oh my gosh. I look way worse.
Jeffrey's next. Jeffrey.
Okay.
What's up?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
When did you guys get that shot?
Is that Fabia?
Well, no,
That is absolutely
that's all
ridiculous.
natural.
Jeffrey, you look good.
Oh my God.
You guys want a little sneak peek?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then finally we have me. Let's see.
Oh. Oh.
I look
like an elf.
like a fairy or something. I look weird.
Your ears
You look like you
are
used to ice skate when you were 12 in the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure.
I look like, what's her Tanya
Elfin.
Harding.
Yeah, different.
Oh,
Whoa, I'm not happy about mine at all.
you're mad about it. What do you think? Like, really, Kim Kardashian has the wet hair. Do you
she
guys
looks beautiful.
like that look?
Yeah.
I'm over the wet look. I know it was popular like a couple, and then what's her name did it? Megan Fox.
Ugh.
I'm kind of sick of it. Everyone looking Zendaya. I get it, but it's like, did you just come out of the rain? I don't know.
Not into it.
I'm not that.
Do you
into
think
it.
it's sexy?
No. No.
No. What about you when you come out of the shower?
Yeah, are you
feel
sexy?
Well, we just got a sneak peek.
Oh, God. It's a different race of a person.
Wow. Wow.
What are you talking about? Just sun-kissed, that's all.
Oh, okay.
See, that's too buff for me.
I agree with you,
Way
Sam.
too buff.
That turns me off.
How long are you at the gym for?
I agree with you.
I'd rather you be...
Okay, so if you were on vacation and single with your girlfriends and that man walked out of the woods.
Too much.
No.
And just, you were there in Bora Bora for one night.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
right.
first of all, that's terrifying that he came out of the woods. Second of all, I think she's right. It's almost like you're a mannequin.
Yeah.
I can't, what is there?
Yeah. No.
I mean, right?
Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. Jeff doesn't buy it.
Just like dad, hey, I love dad bods. When you have back fat, it's so cool.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a Verify viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing." All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. It's still one hot summer and we haven't seen the last of record-breaking temperatures. So if you're feeling overheated, try wrapping a cool wet towel around your neck, but that's not the only way to beat the heat. Here are some other quick ways to cool down, sponsored by Sunsetter. Did you know you can create a cool breeze just by setting a large bowl of ice water in front of a standard fan? And instead of a pool, you can just dip your little toes into a cool little bowl. All the way up to the ankles. Also, keep skin products like lotion and sunscreen in the fridge before applying. Nice and chill on the body. I like it. Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Get affordable custom features without the custom price. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big Pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
Welcome back. Before we go, you have to check this out. A French scientist is coming clean about an alleged star he posted on social media. So the scientist posted this photo he claimed was an image of a star taken with the James Webb Space Telescope. The image soon went viral with thousands of retweets. So the scientist was forced to admit it was all a prank and was actually a picture of a piece of chorizo sausage. He actually said it was more than a prank, though. He wanted to show people how misinformation can be spread so easily.
Wow. Well, he spread it. I mean, what I don't love about this is that are people going to start questioning the other web photos? Is this all fake? Are we not on the moon? Is the world flat? It's not flat. We've checked. It's definitely not. So I don't know. I don't like when science plays pranks. That's not my favorite. Sorry.
It got weird, but you know what my favorite is?
What?
Enough with the chorizo. Let's get to the video.
Oh, you want here's Tor. Oh, here she is.
Why? I just didn't want to do this
There
scene.
was one pretty good song. I'm sure
It's like 3 in the morning.
That's assault, brother.
Wow.
Whose is worse? Be honest.
Well, let's compare it. Roll.
Oh, man. Okay.
Good call, Sam.
Listen, without that wink, Tori's is worse.
No, the worst part is
the
this
wink
part.
is the worst.
Put your hand on her
Listen,
sack.
that's this up for Video Music Award of the Year, so everybody relax.
Was it?
No?
No. Okay.
Okay, now let's compare it.
No, Jeff's is way more like intimate.
I agree.
So better acting.
Yeah.
True. It's true. Mine was not great.
Where'd you get that wig from?
Oh my God! From
nothing like Madonna's.
At one point, we were in Times Square illegally shooting it, and the cops come, and everyone only spoke Japanese, and they were yelling at me to leave, and there was cops and people, and I thought to myself, where am I in my life? And I'm getting yelled at. It was just a mess.
Why was everyone speaking Japanese in Times Square?
It was a Japanese show that I was on for TV Asahi.
In Japan?
Yeah, it was in Japan.
So not New York City.
No, we were in New York City. The Japanese producers.
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's never talk about this again.
where hope finds help, where courage meets conviction, where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities, where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Am I going crazy?
I just love your passion right now.
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let me get on it. You just got me all riled up.
So
Who raised
Yes.
you?
This is a win, right, guys? Why am I right all the time?
You're not.
I live my life for Spike. Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
I didn't expect that. I love this segment.
Yes.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year. DBL is all new every day.
Could this make him reconsider a 2024 run? Olivia Newton-John's good friend Jane Seymour will be here live to talk about their incredible bond of more than 40 years. What really happened with Fred Savage on the Wonder Years Reboot set? The inappropriate behavior he's being accused of by many female coworkers. And a life coach reveals the psychological tricks that will make you look like the most attractive person in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
So welcome to DBL. We were just talking about having Jane Seymour on the show, and the fact that as much as we all love her, and she's been on the show before, but the fact that she's here specifically to honor her friend Olivia Newton-John is chilling.
Yeah, 40 years, that's a real friendship. So
I know.
I can't wait to speak with her and hear her stories.
Stay tuned for that. But we do begin, and I know I'm already reading your comments. You all have a lot to say, and believe it or not, our audience is definitely divided on this. So former President Trump is in New York today, where he is getting deposed in an investigation into his business dealings. He's refusing to answer questions, taking his Fifth Amendment right now, actually, to not incriminate himself. So meantime, there's a ton of fallout from Monday's FBI search of his home at Mar-a-Lago. Trump is reportedly feeling, quote unquote, furious yet scared. That's according to People magazine. Now, he feels victimized and is calling everyone he trusts to give him advice and reassure him that this is a witch hunt. He's also saying that Biden knew all about this. We've also got new details on the raid itself. So agents spent 9.5 hours searching the property, reportedly focusing on Trump's office and personal quarters. Although some are reporting they also searched Melania's wardrobe. They took away about a dozen boxes of material. We now have 90 days, you guys, before the midterm election, with many expecting Trump to announce his candidacy soon. But the question that a lot of people are asking, including our very own viewers, is Trump a victim of government overreach? What would you say to that, Tori?
I want people to be really clear. There's a narrative emerging from the Trump people that the FBI needs to be defunded. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted it. Get rid of the entire Department of Justice. They're all political. And if you don't know, the Department of Justice is in a very different branch of the government than the president. They specifically don't speak. I would be surprised if Biden knew about the raid beforehand. That's how separate they're supposed to be, because they're judicial, he's executive. if you keep hearing over and over again that they're using the FBI to go after people, that is a lie. That is not true at all. In fact, Trump appointed him to be the FBI. When you use that, you start to tell people, don't trust the Justice Department, don't trust the courts, don't trust the teachers, don't trust the scientists. Who do you trust then? The king, the one man. That's how you get to a dictatorship. That's how you get to fascism. The FBI has done nothing other than ordered an affidavit which identifies the person, the place to be searched, it identifies the property, it establishes the grounds for the search. They did it legally. And Trump, when they say if the FBI did it to Trump, they could do it to everyone, that's how laws work. He's not above the law. If he took classified documents wrongly, we should find out, period.
Yeah, I think where the pushback comes from, and what you're talking about is very extreme, right? We see the extreme Trumps, we see the extreme Republicans, we see the extreme Democrats. There's still like 80% of the country that's just trying to rationalize everything. And I think a lot of the pushback from the Republicans is that, well,
there's the Republicans or the Trump Republicans, because they're two different things.
Just in general, Republicans. I don't talk about any extremists at all because I don't care what they have to say on either side. So the general Republican public, right, is saying, well, you're doing this to Trump, right? What about what's going on with Nancy Pelosi and her husband? What's happening there? What about the Hunter Biden laptop? What's going on there? What about the Clintons? Why don't we look into that? If we're going to raid Trump's place, why don't we raid some of these places? That's the rhetoric that other people are pushing back, right? I'm just repeating that. And my own thing is like, if you're going to take this power as Democrats, right, as soon as Republicans get that power, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to start sending FBI agents out. And now we're not living in a democratic society, which means the United States. We're starting to become like Venezuela. We're starting to become, where you said, like a dictatorship, one leader. And I feel like a lot of people, and me included, I just want to put this out there. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. Me included, I kind of feeling like I'm being pushed into a corner just by who I am in general. People assume that I am a Republican. People assume that I'm a Trumper. People assume a lot of things about me that aren't true. And I feel like that's the government and social media pushing back on that. So I don't necessarily, if something's wrong and there is something there, definitely get it. I'm with you on that.
Right.
But if they find nothing or nothing substantial, this is just uniting the Republican Party with the Trumpers and riling them up for the November election, which is midterms 90 days away.
Right. And to that point, and Tori, just respond to this, including what Jeff said, how are everyday Trump loyalists taking all of this? So supporters are still rallying around the former president, with people flocking to Mar-a-Lago to show their support. Now, Palm Beach police have reportedly gotten intelligence warning that armed pro-Trump protesters are planning on attending. Meantime, there are even threats of violence, with some right-wing agitators calling for war. So Jeff's point,
I agree with
extremism.
I agree with him.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned for some people calling for guns, some people saying, when do we start the war? This is on Twitter. These are people with check marks by their name. I'm concerned about a civil war. I think we all should be at this point. It's becoming two very different societies. But you don't like to be conned, right? You don't like when people con you. None of us do.
I like James Caan.
I do. May he rest.
Yes.
Right? Oh, my God.
I thought we needed a little levity.
We did.
There.
I appreciate you.
Go for it.
I can't do this. I will just say this. When you're being told that the next president will do this to the FBI and this president's doing to the FBI, that's not true. You're being lied to. That isn't happening.
About what am I being lied to about?
When people say they're using the FBI to go give a search warrant to go.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying when people are saying.
But I don't appreciate, and I'm saying this respectfully, right? Maybe some people online might feel that way too. I don't like that you're telling me or other people that we're being conned. Because I have my own thoughts. I like some Republican thoughts. But the rhetoric that you're just saying gets people agitated.
But there are facts and then they're not facts, and you're learning non-facts. And that's what I think is unfair. It's going to cause a civil war.
You used me as an example.
I mean,
don't use me as an example.
Okay. Those people who are very much believing in the sentiment of Trump are being told something that is a genuine, subjective, and objective lie. The FBI is not being politicized. The Department of Justice is doing what they do with a warrant, with an affidavit, and with enough probable cause to do that. If we believe that the FBI is political, then we can cause a civil war for no reason. Over a lie.
What percentage do you think wants to start a civil war or believes that? Like, in your mind, what percentage?
Did you see the armed Trump protesters there?
I want to say that's giving them credit. Maybe 10% of the country thinks that extreme.
How do you think that Trump got 71 million votes
I'm not
the
saying,
second time around?
I'm not saying that other people aren't Trump supporters in their own way. I would say 40%, I would say I'm right on. 10% are extreme. The other 40% I would say are like, I like Trump, but I'm not saying a damn word.
Agree, but the 10% almost had a coup in this country.
You're right,
and
I don't agree with it. And I'm totally with you on that.
And what I think is going to happen is that rhetoric will become the narrative, and it isn't true. The entire people's lives will be lost over this idea that the FBI is being politicized when it isn't.
But aren't you pushing the narrative from the other side, though? The 10% on that side now?
We're going to continue this conversation in our break. This is literally the conversation that I feel like everybody's having in their household. So make sure you go to our YouTube. Coming up on DBL, Ryan Reynolds spills the insane purchase he made without telling his wife. Do you run purchases past your partner? And a Game of Thrones actor wants to do away with intimacy coaches on set. Why a lot of people are not happy about his take. And Jane Seymour is here live. There she is. She is sharing her favorite memories about her longtime friend, Olivia Newton-John. Stay with us.
Closed captioning provided by...
It's so easy.
Am I going crazy?
Who
raised
you? Why am I right all the time?
You're not.
Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year.
That was the way to go.
Thought it was fantastic. Good job, you two.
Yeah, and it was civil.
And it was respectful.
It was, I don't. It was very, very respectful.
Yes.
But let's continue. Okay, so we're going to continue the conversation. I thought, you know, Tori and Jeff are the example of, listen, I know everybody's having these conversations, whether it's on social media or whether it's in your own household, and it gets very divisive and vitriolic, if that's even a word. But that's the point, though. The point is a lot of people want to create divide. We need to use this to unify. If that means let's make sure that everyone's held accountable that's corrupt, or just having conversations that you actually listen like you two did, that's the example.
And I just want people to have their freedom of thinking, right? And when I gave that example of Hunter Biden, and stuff, that's rhetoric that you see online. And I think a lot of people just take what they see and just kind of spew out the same rhetoric like you said about the FBI. I think a lot of people just take that and spew that out. And I'm not with that, right? I don't like that philosophy. I like to think for myself.
Critical thinking.
Right,
Yep.
and just kind of have my own pros and cons about things and try to see things fairly. And I know some people might think I'm biased too. I probably come with some biases. But to take rhetoric off the internet and spew that, that's what the problem is.
What we're saying is the same thing.
Right.
And in effect is, I don't like the lying and the rhetoric that's conning people. He doesn't like to be conned. And we're both saying the social media is getting the best of it. And we might start a war because of nothing.
Right.
And that's what Europeans are
Yes.
saying to us. They're looking over and then say, this is a nothing burger.
Right.
That's not true, and you're getting used. And now you can debate which side you think is being used, but someone's getting used here.
I
and
do
it's a
like
lie.
saying the former president's residence. I do like saying that.
My gosh, welcome back to DBL. That was the iconic Summer Nights. We all know the words. That's, of course, from Greece. We just love that song, and we're continuing to honor Olivia Newton-John's legacy. Her family has also accepted the offer of a state funeral in Australia. Definitely appropriate, well-deserved. Joining us live now is Jane Seymour, actress and longtime friend of Olivia's. Jane, we had you on our show not too long ago, and while we are elated to have you back, I know it's under very difficult circumstances. We are so sorry to hear about the passing of your good friend, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know, we all knew that she would pass in the not too distant future, but you know, when it happens, you've lost this bright light in the world, you know, and I just think that everyone who's honoring her, I mean, I feel like she's watching all of this, and she's so excited that her message, her positivity is being put out there, because she was a really remarkable woman who I had the privilege of being very good friends with.
Yeah, I thought about, oh, I'm so sorry. That was.
Oh, no, I was just, her legacy, I would say, people say she sparkled, she was kind. Like, that's all that should matter, right? What was your last conversation with Olivia like?
I was there with my sisters. We went out to the ranch. You know, she didn't let many people come out there. She was incredibly frail. And she'd got the day wrong. So we arrived and she was still in bed and obviously not expecting any company. And somehow or other, the people around her kind of, you know, she wanted to come out. So they kind of dressed her up and brought her out. And all she wanted to know was about us. She wanted to know how my sisters were doing. And she wanted to know and talk about our mutual friends who were going through cancer right now. She wanted to know about my kids, my life. And then, you know, she just had this glow in her face, and she just said, you know, the pain had been really bad, and that John was doing amazing things trying to help her deal with the pain. And she just looked around. She said, "Isn't it lovely here?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You know, I sit out here and I look at the hummingbirds and look at the sky and look at the dogs." And she just said, you know, she loved life. And I think she honestly hung on way longer than anyone ever imagined. And I believe she did it because she just wanted to make sure Chloe was going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the hummingbirds, the dogs, just the simple, ordinary things. What I think is so extraordinary, and wanted your take on this, she seems so deliberately positive. Like, she manifested that she would not speak ill of her body because she thought that could then happen. Can you talk about that? And then also just about your 40-year friendship. Does anything stand out? I assume this trait, maybe.
I know, I absolutely. I mean, we're on the same page about everything. I mean, we have absolutely the same values, the same belief system, all of it. And that's, you know, part of what our relationship was. We also had children around the same time. And because I had a kid and I was, you know, very busy as an actress at the time, she kind of looked at me and said, "How do you do that?" And jokingly, I said, "You know how to make a baby." She said, "No, how do you do it all? How do you have a career and raise a child?" And so I would say in the 40 years that we really were talking to one another, it was always, you know, how do you do it? How's it going with your kid? And then our kids worked together and we were kind of behind the scenes, letting them shine. And that was magic. And oh gosh, so many magic moments. But she was very down to earth, you know, and very humble. In fact, I don't think she ever mentioned to me that she got the damehood. I mean, that was never, I found, looked on the website, oh, she got the damehood.
Everyone would know if I got a damehood. Everyone would know.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. But all she you know, she was the rock for her family. I mean, I knew her because of her sister Rona, who had a lot of ups and downs and passed a while ago. And I came to this country with Rona and her new little baby, Emerson, who I just spoke to the other day. And you know, and I know her sister's kids, you know, older kids now in Australia. So I've sort of been, in some ways, like a part of the family. But really, for me, and that's what really made me cry the other day, is she was totally the closest friend I could ever have in the world that would understand from the inside what it's like to be her or me and have, you know, the world that we're in, the sort of vortex we're in, plus trying to have a life and find love and have committed relationships and children who were happy and were able to thrive. And we also had in common the fact that we're very open and we want to help people. And, you know, she just said, "Hey, I have cancer. I'm going to let the world know what this looks like. And I'm going to really share with them that it's a body, mind, and spirit experience, as is life. And wellness is all of it. It's about being happy in your own skin. It's about living with and thriving with cancer."
Yeah. Jane,
that's what she did.
Jane, I just want to send my admirations to you because you came on this show and you just want to talk all about your friend, and you talked about Olivia hanging on. It's because she had love and friends like you who cared more about her than themselves. So I think that's a very admirable quality that you have. But I just wanted to pass on that compliment. But I think everyone was moved to tears, me included, by John Travolta's tribute post. Do you think Olivia knew how much he loved her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you know, I've had the privilege of knowing John. I actually made a movie with his wife, his late wife, Kelly. And there's a very, very special bond between them. I mean, very much so. Yes.
What about her character as Sandy? Everyone knows her as Sandy. Did she embrace that, or did she want to be something else?
No, I think there was a lot of Sandy in her. You know, I think Olivia, you know, was very happy to be the goody-goody kind of person, and she loved to just, you know, slick it up and put on the leather jacket, and she was total rock chick, total. I mean, I have that in common with her too. You know, I was always thought of as, oh, Dr. Quinn, you know, played virgins my whole life, and then I got to make a movie where I got to put a leather jacket on. I went, you know what? I really like this. I like rock chick. I have more leather jackets than you could possibly imagine.
I love that.
Sam too.
Yeah, Sam too.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Okay, we only have a minute left, but I have to hear from you. What does she leave behind for those still battling cancer, in your opinion?
What she's just done recently, just before she passed, when she was still able to, was unbelievable. She actually personally spoke to at least 3 people I know very close to me who are battling cancer right now. And what she's done for the world is she has opened up this conversation. And she built this extraordinary hospital in Melbourne, which I had the privilege of being in. And she called me one time when she was in the hospital, and she said, "You'll never guess where I am. I'm in the hospital." And I said, "Oh, you're visiting, isn't it great?" She said, "No, I'm here as a patient." And I never imagined this would happen. She said, "But what I built," she said, "I'm so proud of it. They're taking such great care of me. And it's everything I wanted. I wanted there to be a place where body, mind, and spirit were healed." And I think she gave people hope, because none of us live forever, okay? So I think what she did is even beyond cancer. She's just saying how to be grateful, how to be gracious, how to thrive on every moment of life we have, how to see the beauty in life rather than the negative. And I heard what you were talking about earlier. I mean, she was just looking out and just saying, aren't we lucky to be alive? Aren't we lucky to love and be loved? Aren't we lucky to be in this body and to have this mind and to be able to pursue our passions and help one another? And that's where we totally bonded.
Jane, I can't imagine how difficult this is for you. We so appreciate you honoring your friend.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a verified viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing." All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. So a scary moment during the Little League World Series last night is going viral. Okay, the pitcher threw a ball that hit the batter in his helmet. The player hit the ground, holding his head in pain. But after he made it to first base, he saw that the pitcher was upset about the hit. So he walked to the mound, hugged him, and told him he was doing great. The moment also inspired the rest of the pitcher's team to run to the mound to comfort him. Wow. If we could all learn from the kids.
I
right?
love the Little League World Series. It's going on right now. The sportsmanship, the camaraderie, the enthusiasm just to be there. I mean, I think some of the pros could learn from these 12-year-olds.
That little kid in blue just showed us all what we should have been, that adults are not missing, with courtesy and decency. What a beautiful moment. I'm glad he's okay, first off, and thank God for the helmet, but to have the decency to walk over and give a hug.
This is our future.
I'm so proud.
Me too. Thank God.
Shout out to the 86 Norwich Little League team. My brother, they made 5th in the world.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll be right back. Shout out to them. Norwich.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters! Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
We are out of time for now. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. What really went down on the set of the Wonder Years reboot? The shocking new reports coming in against Fred Savage. And Ryan Reynolds opens up about making a massive purchase without telling his wife. Yeah, why he says they're still working through it.
Millions of Americans have diabetes and need insulin to survive, but the price of the drug is often expensive. The Inflation Reduction Act, a bill recently passed by the U.S. Senate, which in part aims to lower rising costs of goods while paying down the nation's debt, also includes provisions to make healthcare more affordable. But there are a lot of tweets like this one on social media claiming that Senate Republicans just succeeded in stripping the $35 per month insulin price cap from the bill, keeping insulin prices high for Americans. So let's verify. Was the price cap on insulin removed from the Inflation Reduction Act? Our sources are the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This claim needs some context. The final version of the Inflation Reduction Act, passed by the Senate, does cap insulin prices for some people, but not for as many as originally intended. Let me explain. The original text of the bill capped insulin prices for both Medicare and private insurance patients at $35 a month. But the cap for patients with private insurance ran afoul of Senate rules, forcing a separate vote on that provision, which failed to get enough Republican support to pass. As a result, the approved bill caps insulin prices at $35 a month for Medicare patients only. More than 63 million Americans are enrolled in Medicare, and 1 out of every 3 Medicare patients has diabetes, according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So we can verify that the Inflation Reduction Act still contains a price cap on insulin, but it only applies to Medicare patients and not for people with private insurance. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So Fred Savage is speaking out after some women accused him of sexual harassment on the Wonder Years reboot set. So 6 female crew members spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about Fred's alleged sexual harassment. The women say they saw 2 different sides to Fred, one that was a supportive colleague around other actors and executives, but then juxtaposed that to a darker, angrier alter ego. One woman said, on a night out with some crew members, Fred pushed her against a wall and, quote, put his mouth on her very forcefully. In a statement, Fred said there are some incidents being reported that absolutely did not and could not have happened, but added, quote, any one person who feels hurt or offended by my actions is one person too many. I will work to address and change any behavior that has negatively affected anyone. Tori, who do you believe and what do you think about his response?
I'm always going to believe people that come forward and say that because the majority of people that do it aren't lying. But I want us to just address sort of the elephant in the room here. Everybody wants this to not be true, even out there watching, right? We all don't like to hear that Fred Savage is like a jerk.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, excuse me, you're absolutely right. But it's because we grew up with him, right? Princess Bride, he was the baby reading with Peter Falk, the book. Wonder Years, he was all of us being a teenager, right? We heard his voice in our heads. Even if he's unlikable, 6 women to me makes me think a little bit differently. He's had a 2018 lawsuit filed against him on the Grindr, and she said it was verbally and physical. So 6 women are saying things like that. I'm hearing you're getting pushed up allegedly against the wall. Not good. And I don't want to say I like him and therefore I don't hold him accountable. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and I'm kind of with you, right? I might be blinded by his celebrity, like a lot of people, you know, and I try to differentiate things, whether it be politics or celebrity, but it's tough because I really like Fred Savage, you know, and this will kind of sour that love I have for her. I write down my goals every year. He's at the top of people I want to interview. And, you know, I want to believe him, but 6 people, like you said, and especially the time we live in, even if it's misconstrued, like I could see that side as well. Like if you're 40, which I am, 44, and going out with a 20-year-old, some things that you did growing up might not be appropriate today, right? Even if you don't mean it. But 6 of them makes me feel like there might be something there, unfortunately.
Yeah, there does seem to be a pattern of behavior, and there is a lot of smoke. And you know, we see too many times, too often than not, that when there's smoke, there is fire, and perhaps this is a wildfire. I just want to wait to see all the facts. And I'm that in no way, shape, or form is that me saying that these 6 individuals are lying or exaggerating. This is just me wanting to wait to hear both sides of the story before I come up. And that's something I'm going to be working on.
I applaud that. I applaud that because, you know, just a year and a half ago, just saying that would get you in trouble. You would be canceled along with Fred Savage because you're 100% not on those women's sides. And I think getting down to what the problem is and what really happened is what we should all be worried about, right? And hold people accountable or not accountable and find out the facts. So I applaud you for saying that.
Thank you. We'll have to wait and see if it's criminal or not, right? Okay, so Ryan Reynolds says he's still in the doghouse over a big purchase he made last year. Okay, so while on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Ryan revealed that he never really talked to his wife, Blake Lively, about buying 1/2 of a Welsh soccer team. Yeah, take a look.
And I remember showing up, seeing Blake and saying, you know, I have bad news, and I have really bad news. The really bad news is that, you know, I might have bought half of a 5th-tier National Football League in Wales.
What was her reaction?
Not good, Rob. No, not great.
No.
Yeah, we're still working through that one.
Oh my gosh, Ryan and his friend comedian Rob McElhenney paid $2.5 million for the team. That's a big purchase to not consult with your partner with. Have you ever made any crazy purchases that
I like he goes, how did that go? Not good, Rob. Not good. It was funny. I love Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I love Ryan Reynolds. The only thing that I did, but I usually consult my wife about everything. I can't say the same thing about her.
Oh.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Yeah, but I did buy a sauna one time because I was contracted to do this job. I got fired the day before I was supposed to do this job, and then I bought a sauna. So I was like, well, that was going to pay for the sauna, but now we have a sauna.
Now I can heat myself up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a fancy sauna, too. It has lights. It has music.
Do you like
First of all, it's a box for people out there thinking I have like this steam room.
It sounds like you
do. It's a box, and the lights are therapeutic.
Okay, they look like they're you. When he sends us a picture sometimes, like it looks like you're having a rave in there.
Yeah. It's like a European discotheque. Yeah, it looks like a discotheque.
It does, yes. Yeah, it does.
I think I've done it on hair extensions.
Oh my gosh, yes, you.
And I think I haven't told. I've bought a lot of fake hair.
I think I've exaggerated about it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm right there with you. I don't really purchase like clothes or shoes. I rent them like you do on Rent the Runway, so that's not an issue. But when it comes to hair is expensive.
It is.
And I still don't think I tell my husband exactly what that cost is.
Makeup, facials, whatever you guys,
hair,
all the stuff.
Botox.
That stuff. Listen, I've cut whiffs of how much it is, and I don't like it.
I round down.
Oh, yeah.
How much was your hair color? 140 or whatever it may be.
Have you seen someone? Someone went viral because it says, "What's Ulta? Why are you spending on Ulta?" And someone goes, "Oh, it's utilities," and he goes, "Oh, great," moves on.
All right, so Game of Thrones actor Sean Bean is taking some heat over comments he made about sex scenes on set. Speaking to the Times of London, Sean said intimacy coordinators who help make actors feel safe during sex scenes can spoil the spontaneity. He said the coordinators would inhibit him because it's drawing attention to things and bringing it down to quote-unquote technical exercise. Actress Rachel Zegler spoke out, tweeting, quote, "Spontaneity in intimate scenes can be unsafe. Wake up." And actress Jamila Jamil said, quote, "Sex scenes should only be technical. It's like a stunt. Our job as actors is not to make it not look technical. Nobody wants an impromptu grope."
Yeah, this is weird. Yeah. Sean Bean kind of stepped in this one. I really like him, but the whole point is that it's not spontaneous because that's when women got groped for years and years and years, and they had no voice or platform to say anything. So having the intimacy coach there is, of course, what you need, and he just hasn't understood it. He hasn't understood the Me Too movement. That's just someone that that has not understood that someone's done that to someone before. He wants it to be all raunchy and sexy. So do we. But as an actor, that's a dance. That's a choreographed, technical blocking move. My hand goes here, your lips go there. You can make it look sexy. I probably couldn't.
So personal too.
Yeah.
You're married. If one person's married, if you just have a previous trauma, and you have to be careful in situations like this. You're no stranger to intimate scenes. Now, and we're going to get to a scene. Don't worry, we have it. But when you did it, would you have rather had it very blocked out and technical, or would you rather have had the director be like, just go?
Blocked out. Definitely. Definitely. Because that, number one, it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable, not sexual by any means, at least in my case.
It was a music video.
It was a music video, yes. You're already uncomfortable, and I'd rather just be like, hey, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Makes me feel comfortable. I would assume it makes her feel comfortable. But for Sean, I'm not defending him. If he is attached to the art, you want it to make it look as natural as possible. I think that's where he's coming from. But in the time that we live in,
he didn't get it.
Man, you got to choreograph that stuff just like anything else.
Right. Agreed.
Roll it.
So I wish they told me not to do that.
How about this part?
Listen,
in the tub?
Because she cut her toe. We already been over this.
Oh my God, the groping.
Oh my God. You were eating her face.
I can't even defend myself.
I can't even look. I can't.
Listen, where's Tori's where she assaulted somebody?
Yeah,
you pretty much did.
I did. But that's a true story. Madonna, I played Madonna in a biopic. You can look it up.
Tori likes it. Even if it's accusing her of assault, she's like, I did.
No, Madonna went up to it famously. DJ gave her the cassette and then kissed the DJ.
We don't have it?
And he played it, her song. That's how she first got into the clubs.
Maybe by the end we'll have Tori's infamous assault.
It might be the hands of the FBI after.
Alleged. Okay, so Drake is trolling his dad over a tattoo. So his dad reportedly got a tattoo of Drake's face inked on his arm 5 years ago, okay? Drake posted the tattoo with the caption, I was just sitting here thinking, why'd you do me like this? We're family. His dad responded by saying he's had 16 people try to straighten it out. For the record, Drake also seems to have his dad's face tattooed on his arm.
Can we go back for a second, Sam? Look at this. Can we go? That first off is a great tattoo, but that he looks like he's smelling the armpit, doesn't it?
Ew,
the placement is so bad.
Well, it looks just like Blue Steel from Zoolander. They play the side by side.
Oh no.
Wow. Now Drake hates even more after that. Side by side. Is that tattoo of the dad real? Is that a real or is that a joke?
No, I think he has
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I like how detailed it was.
Yeah, his dad's is cool.
Very
it's
good.
Like super
very well
like
done.
70s.
Did he do that out of spite, you think?
I assume.
Doesn't he have a lot of what are his other tattoos? They're all is it all his family members?
Yeah, he has a certain theme to his tattoos.
Right.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, he had a bar mitzvah. I love that guy.
I would think so.
Half Jewish. I love that guy.
I would imagine he did.
We should do a fun fact segment about Drake. I didn't know any of that.
I know. All right. Let's get to the next story, shall we?
I'm excited to see what it is.
The prompter slowly scrolls. Before we go, some pups took part in the World Dogs. Oh my God!
I'm so
World Dog Surfing Championships in California. Dogs like Charlie couldn't wait to get their surfboard in the water. There he is taking part in the tandem surfing event with another pooch, catching a wave on the board by himself.
No, someone pushed them. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got help.
They need a little bit of help because they can't paddle.
But don't say by themselves.
They can't paddle.
They don't have opposable thumbs.
Good one.
Thanks.
Good one, Fokker.
Exactly. Charlie came in second place and even took home some doggy surfing swag. What a good boy. Some White Claw.
That's weird.
Does the owner who actually swam out there and pushed them get anything?
No, but he had to balance and understand.
He had to sit there.
No, he has to do this on
No,
surfing.
he doesn't.
Sam can tell you have to balance.
Oh, yes. First of all,
he has 4 legs.
That's true.
I bet it's easier for the dog to surf than for a human to surf.
Yeah, so he didn't really do anything.
Yes, he did.
They just stood there.
Aww.
Look, see, that guy did all the work.
No, look at him. Look, he has to stand there.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And his tail's wagging. He loves it. Oh,
he loves it because it's getting rocked around by the waves. He doesn't like it.
Of course. Well, you don't know that. His tail was wagging. I hope he liked it.
So you just assume if they went parachuting, they'd like that too?
Well, he dragged the thing out as if, let me out, let me out.
I know. I'm just trying to make it fun.
Okay. I love to surf. Do you love to surf? Nope. Coming up on DBL. Things you can do right now to appear more attractive.
Oh, I need this.
We've got, you do not need this, but we do got the list. It's coming after the break.
So awkward.
We emailed it to you.
Closed captioning provided by
every day.
Okay, if you are with us, you are now following. Yes, please. So you're following here.
Every time ad-lib.
We have Drake tattoos. What we didn't know is that Drake has all people's faces on there. So we have, I'm going to look them all up. Drake's 35 tattoos in their meeting. He has Lil Wayne.
Which I went to the Drake Lil Wayne concert.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Really?
So this was about 10 years ago at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, wow. And let me tell you, their camaraderie was quite cute. They fully had a bromance. I say that respectfully. So they would their whole concert was them. They would each perform a song. They'd always come out together, and they would all, you know how different artists will speak to the crowd. They would speak to the crowd about stories about one another. Oh, that's really nice. Super cute relationship. Super cute. They probably hate that I'm talking about them this way.
Yeah, they're probably watching.
How about this, Sam? A Dracar Noir cologne bottle tattooed.
Dracar, that was back in the day.
Remember this one? Dracar Noir. Do you remember that?
Can you imagine advertising tattoos?
That smells like 1991. She wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Cool Water. Remember that? No, she doesn't remember. Sade Adu portrait. That's beautiful. A jack-o'-lantern. Eyes of Hour. Oh, look, that's a beautiful one. East Side Compass. Oh, that's cool. This is, I think, German. October Legend Harter. No, that's Danish or Swedish or Icelandic. What's Swedish? It means October Lionhearted. This guy's fascinating. All kind. He has an owl.
Some guy got one on his face.
Oh, and then he has Everything Happens for a Reason. Sweet thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I want a tattoo real bad. I can't wait. If you think I should get one, let me know. Nobody else thinks I should. My mother, my husband, nobody else. I want slow and down on each foot.
But he's got a ton of his family on his back.
That's quite awful. Yeah.
Five psychology tricks to be the most attractive person in the room. 1. Use your hands when you talk. Gesticulating and using your hands makes you seem more confident and more engaging.
Her accent is sexy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, welcome back. It's not just gesturing with your hands that can make you seem more attractive. According to a dating coach, another way to boost your attractiveness is by talking slowly. Should we give it a try, Tori?
Hey, I guess we should, shouldn't we, Sam? I'm not good
at that debunked that theory.
I'm really bad I'm very bad with speaking slowly.
You're not even speaking slow. You're just speaking with a beautiful, deep, breathy voice.
Thank you.
Another step you can take, smile authentically. So what's your best smile, Jeff? Be authentic.
Well, I can't now.
Do it.
You have to tell me a joke.
Okay, shoot, I don't know.
Do the green pepper.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't, now we're gonna do your smile.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't practice archery?
Something arrow.
Because he didn't habanero. You didn't even get her smile. That was a real one. That was a real one. Okay.
Okay, finally.
That's a good joke.
It's a really good joke. That's a really good one. It's such a dad joke.
Yeah.
Finally having a sensual energy.
You have this. I do not.
I do not.
I do not
You're
have this.
crazy to think that I have this.
I think you walk in like a leopard. You walk in like a panther.
Sierra gave me like a
and I walk in like hello.
I don't agree with you, but thank you. That makes me very. I feel very like.
That was a nice. The panther thing.
She does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a good.
She kind of swans and glides.
No, stop it right now. Now I feel like I have something to live up to.
No, I'm just saying.
Swans and glides.
Well, she comes in with a more of a liquid feeling than I come in with. It's like hello.
Okay,
no,
full disclosure. She started the show and sprayed herself with Downy, and she was soaking wet like a cat, like a wet cat.
Speaking of wet, apparently having wet hair. Stop it right now, Jeffrey. Stop it right now. Stop. Apparently having wet hair will make you more attractive, but does wet hair really make you sexier? Let's find out.
What do you mean?
Tori, take a look.
What do you mean? What do we? Oh no!
Oh wait, that is a cute outfit.
That's not my outfit. That's not my body.
Oh, they just put you.
You look like a wet koala.
Oh my gosh. I look way worse.
Jeffrey's next. Jeffrey.
Okay.
What's up?
Yes! Oh my gosh! Yes!
When did you guys get that shot?
Is that Fabia?
Well, no,
That is absolutely ridiculous.
that's all natural.
Jeffrey, you look good.
Oh my God.
You guys want a little sneak peek?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, and then finally we have me. Let's see.
Oh.
I look
like an elf.
like a fairy or something. I look weird.
Your ears
You look like
are
you used
different.
to ice skate when you were 12 in the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure.
I look like, what's her Tanya
Elfin.
Harding.
Yeah, different.
Oh,
Whoa, I'm not happy about mine at all.
you're mad about it. What do you think, like, really, Kim Kardashian has the wet hair? Do you
she
guys
looks beautiful.
like that look?
Yeah.
I'm over the wet look. I know it was popular like a couple, and then what's her name did it? Megan Fox.
Ugh.
I'm kind of sick of it. Everyone looking Zendaya. I get it, but it's like, did you just come out of the rain? I don't know.
Not into it.
I'm not that.
Do you
into
think
it.
it's sexy?
No.
No. What about you when you come out of the shower?
Yeah, are you
feel
sexy?
Well, we just got a sneak peek.
Oh God, it's a different race of a person.
Wow.
What are you talking about? Just sun-kissed, that's all.
Oh, okay.
See, that's too buff for me.
I agree with you,
Way
Sam.
too buff.
That turns me off.
How long are you at the gym for?
I agree with you.
I'd rather you be.
Okay, so if you were on vacation and single with your girlfriends and that man walked out of the woods.
Too much.
No.
And just, you were there in
First of all,
Bora
that's
Bora for one night.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
right.
first of all, that's terrifying that he came out of the woods. Second of all, I think she's right. It's almost like you're a
much.
mannequin.
Yeah.
I can't. What is there?
Yeah. No.
I need. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. Jeff doesn't buy it.
Just like dad. Hey, I love dad bods. When you have back fat, it's so cool.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a verified viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing." All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. It's still one hot summer and we haven't seen the last of record-breaking temperatures. So if you're feeling overheated, try wrapping a cool wet towel around your neck, but that's not the only way to beat the heat. Here are some other quick ways to cool down, sponsored by Sunsetter. Did you know you can create a cool breeze just by setting a large bowl of ice water in front of a standard fan? And instead of a pool, you can just dip your little toes into a cool little bowl. All the way up to the ankles. Also, keep skin products like lotion and sunscreen in the fridge before applying. Nice and chill on the body. I like it. Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Get affordable custom features without the custom price. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely, because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
Welcome back. Before we go, you have to check this out. A French scientist is coming clean about an alleged star he posted on social media. So the scientist posted this photo he claimed was an image of a star taken with the James Webb Space Telescope. The image soon went viral with thousands of retweets. So the scientist was forced to admit it was all a prank and was actually a picture of a piece of chorizo sausage. He actually said it was more than a prank, though. He wanted to show people how misinformation can be spread so easily.
Wow. Well, he spread it. I mean, what I don't love about this is that are people going to start questioning the other web photos? Is this all fake? Are we not on the moon? Is the world flat? It's not flat. We've checked. It's definitely not. So I don't know. I don't like when science plays pranks. That's not my favorite. Sorry.
It got weird, but you know what my favorite is?
What?
Enough with the chorizo. Let's get to the video.
Oh, you want here's Tor. Oh, here she is.
Why? I just didn't want to do this scene.
There was one pretty good song. I'm sure
it's like 3 in the morning.
That's assault, brother.
Wow.
Whose is worse? Be honest.
Well, let's compare it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Good call, Sam.
Listen, without that wink, Tori's is worse.
No, the worst part is
the
this
wink
part.
is the worst.
Put your hand on her sack.
Listen, that's this up for Video Music Award of the Year, so everybody relax.
Was it?
No? Okay, now let's compare.
No, Jeff's is way more like intimate.
I agree.
So better acting.
Yeah.
True. It's true. Mine was not great.
Where'd you get that wig from?
Oh my God! From
nothing like Madonna's.
At one point, we were in Times Square illegally shooting it, and the cops come, and everyone only spoke Japanese, and they were yelling at me to leave, and there was cops and people, and I thought to myself, where am I in my life? And I'm getting yelled at. It was just a mess.
Why was everyone speaking Japanese in Times Square?
It was a Japanese show that I was on for TV Asahi.
In Japan?
Yeah, it was in Japan.
So not New York City.
No, we were in New York City. The Japanese producers.
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's never talk about this again.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Am I going crazy?
I just love your passion right now.
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let me get on it. You just got me all riled up.
So
Who raised you?
This is a win, right, guys? Why am I right all the time?
You're not.
I live my life for Spike. Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
I didn't expect that. I love this segment.
Yes.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year. DBL is all new every day.
Could this make him reconsider a 2024 run? Olivia Newton-John's good friend Jane Seymour will be here live to talk about their incredible bond of more than 40 years. What really happened with Fred Savage on the Wonder Years reboot set? The inappropriate behavior he's being accused of by many female coworkers. And a life coach reveals the psychological tricks that will make you look like the most attractive person in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
So welcome to DBL. We were just talking about having Jane Seymour on the show, and the fact that as much as we all love her, and she's been on the show before, but the fact that she's here specifically to honor her friend Olivia Newton-John is chilling.
Yeah, 40 years, that's a real friendship. So
I know.
I can't wait to speak with her and hear her stories.
Stay tuned for that. But we do begin, and I know I'm already reading your comments. You all have a lot to say, and believe it or not, our audience is definitely divided on this. So former President Trump is in New York today, where he is getting deposed in an investigation into his business dealings. He's refusing to answer questions, taking his Fifth Amendment right now, actually, to not incriminate himself. So meantime, there's a ton of fallout from Monday's FBI search of his home at Mar-a-Lago. Trump is reportedly feeling, quote unquote, furious yet scared. That's according to People magazine. Now, he feels victimized and is calling everyone he trusts to give him advice and reassure him that this is a witch hunt. He's also saying that Biden knew all about this. We've also got new details on the raid itself. So agents spent 9.5 hours searching the property, reportedly focusing on Trump's office and personal quarters, although some are reporting they also searched Melania's wardrobe. They took away about a dozen boxes of material. We now have 90 days, you guys, before the midterm election, with many expecting Trump to announce his candidacy soon. But the question that a lot of people are asking, including our very own viewers, is Trump a victim of government overreach? What would you say to that, Tori?
I want people to be really clear. There's a narrative emerging from the Trump people that the FBI needs to be defunded. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted it. Get rid of the entire Department of Justice. They're all political. And if you don't know, the Department of Justice is in a very different branch of the government than the president. They specifically don't speak. I would be surprised if Biden knew about the raid beforehand. That's how separate they're supposed to be, because they're judicial, he's executive. If you keep hearing over and over again that they're using the FBI to go after people, that is a lie. That is not true at all. In fact, Trump appointed him to be the FBI. When you use that, you start to tell people, don't trust the Justice Department, don't trust the courts, don't trust the teachers, don't trust the scientists. Who do you trust then? The king, the one man. That's how you get to a dictatorship. That's how you get to fascism. The FBI has done nothing other than ordered an affidavit which identifies the person, the place to be searched, it identifies the property, it establishes the grounds for the search. They did it legally. And Trump, when they say if the FBI did it to Trump, they could do it to everyone, that's how laws work. He's not above the law. If he took classified documents wrongly, we should find out, period.
Yeah, I think where the pushback comes from, and what you're talking about is very extreme, right? We see the extreme Trumps, we see the extreme Republicans, we see the extreme Democrats. There's still like 80% of the country that's just trying to rationalize everything. And I think a lot of the pushback from the Republicans is that, well,
there's Republicans or the Trump Republicans, because they're two different things.
Just in general, Republicans. I don't talk about any extremists at all because I don't care what they have to say on either side. So the general Republican public, right, is saying, well, you're doing this to Trump, right? What about what's going on with Nancy Pelosi and her husband? What's happening there? What about the Hunter Biden laptop? What's going on there? What about the Clintons? Why don't we look into that? If we're going to raid Trump's place, why don't we raid some of these places? That's the rhetoric that other people are pushing back, right? I'm just repeating that. And my own thing is like, if you're going to take this power as Democrats, right? As soon as Republicans get that power, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to start sending FBI agents out. And now we're not living in a democratic society, which means the United States. We're starting to become like Venezuela. We're starting to become, where you said, like a dictatorship, one leader. And I feel like a lot of people, and me included, I just want to put this out there. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. Me included, I kind of feeling like I'm being pushed into a corner just by who I am in general. People assume that I am a Republican. People assume that I'm a Trumper. People assume a lot of things about me that aren't true. And I feel like that's the government and social media pushing back on that. So I don't necessarily, if something's wrong and there is something there, definitely get it. I'm with you on that.
Right.
But if they find nothing or nothing substantial, this is just uniting the Republican Party with the Trumpers and riling them up for the November election, which is midterms 90 days away.
Right. And to that point, and Tori, just respond to this, including what Jeff said, how are everyday Trump loyalists taking all of this? So supporters are still rallying around the former president, with people flocking to Mar-a-Lago to show their support. Now, Palm Beach police have reportedly gotten intelligence warning that armed pro-Trump protesters are planning on attending. Meantime, there are even threats of violence, with some right-wing agitators calling for war. So Jeff's point,
I agree with
extremism.
I agree with him.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned for some people calling for guns, some people saying, when do we start the war? This is on Twitter. These are people with check marks by their name. I'm concerned about a civil war. I think we all should be at this point. It's becoming two very different societies. But you don't like to be conned, right? You don't like when people con you. None of us do.
I like James Caan.
I do. May he rest.
Yes.
Right? Oh, my God.
I thought we needed a little levity.
We did.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Go for it.
I can't do this. I will just say this. When you're being told that the next president will do this to the FBI and this president's doing to the FBI, that's not true. You're being lied to. That isn't happening.
About what am I being lied to about?
When people say they're using the FBI to go give a search warrant to go.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying when people are saying.
But I don't appreciate, and I'm saying this respectfully, right? Maybe some people online might feel that way too. I don't like that you're telling me or other people that we're being conned. Because I have my own thoughts. I like some Republican thoughts. But the rhetoric that you're just saying gets people agitated.
But there are facts and then they're not facts, and you're learning non-facts. And that's what I think is unfair. It's going to cause a civil war.
You used me as an example.
I mean,
don't use me as an example.
Okay. Those people who are very much believing in the sentiment of Trump are being told something that is a genuine, subjective, and objective lie. The FBI is not being politicized. The Department of Justice is doing what they do with a warrant, with an affidavit, and with enough probable cause to do that. If we believe that the FBI is political, then we can cause a civil war for no reason. Over a lie.
What percentage do you think wants to start a civil war or believes that? Like in your mind, what percentage?
Did you see the armed Trump protesters there?
I want to say that's giving them credit. Maybe 10% of the country thinks that extreme.
How do you think that Trump got 71 million votes the second time around?
I'm not saying that other people aren't Trump supporters in their own way. I would say 40%. I would say I'm right on. 10% are extreme. The other 40% I would say are like, I like Trump, but I'm not saying a damn word.
Agree, but the 10% almost had a coup in this country.
You're right, and I don't agree with it.
And
I'm totally with you on that.
And what I think is going to happen is that rhetoric will become the narrative, and it isn't true. The entire people's lives will be lost over this idea that the FBI is being politicized when it isn't.
But aren't you pushing the narrative from the other side, though, the 10% on that side now?
We're going to continue this conversation in our break. This is literally this is the conversation that I feel like everybody's having in their household, so make sure you go to our YouTube. Coming up on DBL, Ryan Reynolds spills the insane purchase he made without telling his wife. Do you run purchases past your partner? And a Game of Thrones actor wants to do away with intimacy coaches on set. Why a lot of people are not happy about his take. And Jane Seymour is here live. There she is. She is sharing her favorite memories about her longtime friend, Olivia Newton-John. Stay with us.
Closed captioning provided by...
It's so easy.
Am I going crazy? Who raised you?
Why am I right all the time?
You're not.
Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year.
That was the way to go.
Thought it was fantastic. Good job, you two.
Yeah, and it was civil.
And it was respectful.
It was, I don't. It was very, very respectful.
Yes.
But let's continue. Okay, so we're going to continue the conversation. I thought, you know, Tori and Jeff are the example of, listen, I know everybody's having these conversations, whether it's on social media or whether it's in your own household, and it gets very divisive and vitriolic, if that's even a word. But that's the point, though. The point is a lot of people want to create divide. We need to use this to unify. If that means let's make sure that everyone's held accountable that's corrupt, or just having conversations that you actually listen like you two did, that's the example.
And I just want people to have their freedom of thinking, right? And when I gave that example of Hunter Biden, it's like, that's rhetoric that you see online. And I think a lot of people just take what they see and just kind of spew out the same rhetoric like you said about the FBI. I think a lot of people just take that and spew that out. And I'm not with that, right? I don't like that philosophy. I like to think for myself.
Critical thinking.
Right,
Yep.
and just kind of have my own pros and cons about things and try to see things fairly. And I know some people might think I'm biased too. I probably come with some biases. But to take rhetoric off the internet and spew that, that's what the problem is.
What we're saying is the same thing.
Right.
And in effect is, I don't like the lying and the rhetoric that's conning people. He doesn't like to be conned. And we're both saying the social media is getting the best of it. And we might start a war because of nothing.
Right.
And that's what Europeans are saying to us. They're looking over and then say, this is a nothing burger.
Right.
That's not true, and you're getting used. And now you can debate which side you think is being used, but someone's getting used here.
I do like saying the former president's residence. I do like saying that.
gosh, welcome back to DBL. That was the iconic Summer Nights. We all know the words. That's, of course, from Greece. We just love that song, and we're continuing to honor Olivia Newton-John's legacy. Her family has also accepted the offer of a state funeral in Australia. Definitely appropriate, well-deserved. Joining us live now is Jane Seymour, actress and longtime friend of Olivia's. Jane, we had you on our show not too long ago, and while we are elated to have you back, I know it's under very difficult circumstances. We are so sorry to hear about the passing of your good friend, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know, we all knew that she would pass in the not too distant future, but you know, when it happens, you've lost this bright light in the world, you know, and I just think that everyone who's honoring her, I mean, I feel like she's watching all of this, and she's so excited that her message, her positivity is being put out there, because she was a really remarkable woman who I had the privilege of being very good friends with.
Yeah, I thought about, oh, I'm so sorry. That was.
Oh, no, I was just, her legacy, I would say, people say she sparkled, she was kind. Like, that's all that should matter, right? What was your last conversation with Olivia like?
I was there with my sisters. We went out to the ranch. You know, she didn't let many people come out there. She was incredibly frail, and she got the day wrong. So we arrived, and she was still in bed, and obviously not expecting any company. And somehow or other, the people around her kind of, you know, she wanted to come out, so they kind of dressed her up and brought her out. And all she wanted to know was about us. She wanted to know how my sisters were doing, and she wanted to know and talk about our mutual friends who were going through cancer right now. She wanted to know about my kids, my life. And then, you know, she just had this glow in her face, and she just said, you know, the pain had been really bad, and that John was doing amazing things trying to help her deal with the pain. And she just looked around. She said, "Isn't it lovely here?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You know, I sit out here and look at the hummingbirds, and look at the sky, and look at the dogs." And she just said, you know, she loved life. And I think she honestly hung on way longer than anyone ever imagined. And I believe she did it because she just wanted to make sure Chloe was going to be okay.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the hummingbirds, the dogs, just the simple, ordinary things. What I think is so extraordinary, and wanted your take on this, she seems so deliberately positive. Like, she manifested that she would not speak ill of her body because she thought that could then happen. Can you talk about that? And then also just about your 40-year friendship. Does anything stand out? I assume this trait, maybe.
I know, I mean, we're on the same page about everything. I mean, we have absolutely the same values, the same belief system, all of it. And that's, you know, part of what our relationship was. We also had children around the same time. And because I had a kid and I was, you know, very busy as an actress at the time, she kind of looked at me and said, "How do you do that?" And jokingly, I said, "You know how to make a baby." She said, "No, how do you do it all? How do you have a career and raise a child?" And so I would say in the 40 years that we really were talking to one another, it was always, you know, how do you do it? How's it going with your kid? And then our kids worked together, and we were kind of behind the scenes letting them shine, and that was magic. And oh gosh, so many magic moments. But she was very down to earth, you know, and very humble. In fact, I don't think she ever mentioned to me that she got the damehood. I mean, that was never. I found, looked on the website. Oh, she got the damehood.
Everyone would know if I got a damehood. Everyone would know.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. But you know, she was the rock for her family. I mean, I knew her because of her sister Rona, who had a lot of ups and downs and passed a while ago. And I came to this country with Rona and her new little baby, Emerson, who I just spoke to the other day. And you know, I know her sister's kids, you know, older kids now in Australia. So I've sort of been, in some ways, like a part of the family. But really, for me, and that's what really made me cry the other day, is she was totally the closest friend I could ever have in the world that would understand from the inside what it's like to be her or me and have, you know, the world that we're in, the sort of vortex we're in, plus trying to have a life and find love and have committed relationships and children who were happy and were able to thrive. And we also had in common the fact that we're very open and we want to help people. And, you know, she just said, hey, I have cancer. I'm going to let the world know what this looks like. And I'm going to really share with them that it's a body, mind, and spirit experience, as is life. And wellness is all of it. It's about being happy in your own skin. It's about living with and thriving with cancer.
Yeah.
Jane,
that's what she did.
Jane, I just want to send my admirations to you because you came on this show and you just want to talk all about your friend, and you talked about Olivia hanging on. It's because she had love and friends like you who cared more about her than themselves. So I think that's a very admirable quality that you have. But I just wanted to pass on that compliment. But I think everyone was moved to tears, me included, by John Travolta's tribute post. Do you think Olivia knew how much he loved her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you know, I've had the privilege of knowing John. I actually made a movie with his wife, his late wife, Kelly. And there's a very, very special bond between them. I mean, very much so. Yes.
What about her? What about her character as Sandy? Everyone knows her as Sandy. Did she embrace that, or did she want to be something else?
No, I think there was a lot of Sandy in her. You know, I think Olivia, you know, was very happy to be the goody-goody kind of person, and she loved to just, you know, slick it up and put on the leather jacket, and she was total rock chick, total. I mean, I have that in common with her too, you know. I was always thought of as, oh, Dr. Quinn, you know, played virgins my whole life, and then I got to make a movie where I got to put a leather jacket on. I went, you know what, I really like this. I like rock chick. I have more leather jackets than you could possibly imagine.
I love
Dr.
that.
Quinn.
That's
Sam too.
Yeah, Sam too.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Okay, we only have a minute left, but I have to hear from you. What does she leave behind for those still battling cancer, in your opinion?
What she has just done recently, just before she passed, when she was still able to, was unbelievable. She actually personally spoke to at least 3 people I know very close to me who are battling cancer right now. And what she's done for the world is she has opened up this conversation. And she built this extraordinary hospital in Melbourne, which I had the privilege of being in. And she called me one time when she was in the hospital, and she said, "You'll never guess where I am. I'm in the hospital." And I said, "Oh, you're visiting, isn't it great?" She said, "No, I'm here as a patient." And I never imagined this would happen. She said, "But what I built," she said, "I'm so proud of it. They're taking such great care of me. And it's everything I wanted. I wanted there to be a place where body, mind, and spirit were healed." And I think she gave people hope, because none of us live forever, okay? So I think what she did is even beyond cancer. She's just saying how to be grateful, how to be gracious, how to thrive on every moment of life we have, how to see the beauty in life rather than the negative. And I heard what you were talking about earlier. I mean, she was just looking out and just saying, aren't we lucky to be alive? Aren't we lucky to love and be loved? Aren't we lucky to be in this body and to have this mind and to be able to pursue our passions and help one another? And that's where we totally bonded.
Jane, I can't imagine how difficult this is for you. We so appreciate you honoring your friend.
For 2 years, Democrats have been working to pass legislation to achieve their goals on economic, health, and climate policy. The Senate has just finally done so, passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already hit airwaves, like this one sent to us by a verified viewer in Georgia.
Washington liberals like Raphael Warnock say their partisan spending bill lowers seniors' drug costs, when actually, it cuts nearly $300 billion from Medicare.
So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, "This bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs." Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing. All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. So a scary moment during the Little League World Series last night is going viral. Okay, the pitcher threw a ball that hit the batter in his helmet. The player hit the ground holding his head in pain. But after he made it to first base, he saw that the pitcher was upset about the hit. So he walked to the mound, hugged him, and told him he was doing great. The moment also inspired the rest of the pitcher's team to run to the mound to comfort him. Wow. We could all learn from the kids.
I
right?
love the Little League World Series that's going on right now. The sportsmanship, the camaraderie, the enthusiasm just to be there. I mean, I think some of the pros could learn from these 12-year-olds.
That little kid in blue just showed us all what we should have been, that adults are not missing, with courtesy and decency. What a beautiful moment. I'm glad he's okay, first off, and thank God for the helmet, but to have the decency to walk over and give a hug.
This is our future.
I'm so proud.
Me too.
So proud.
Shout out to the '86 Norwich Little League team. My brother, they made 5th in the world.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll be right back. Shout out to them. Norwich.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely, because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, it was like threading a needle. Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
We are out of time for now. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. What really went down on the set of the Wonder Years reboot? The shocking new reports coming in against Fred Savage. And Ryan Reynolds opens up about making a massive purchase without telling his wife. Yeah, why he says they're still working through it.
Millions of Americans have diabetes and need insulin to survive, but the price of the drug is often expensive. The Inflation Reduction Act, a bill recently passed by the U.S. Senate, which in part aims to lower rising costs of goods while paying down the nation's debt, also includes provisions to make healthcare more affordable. But there are a lot of tweets like this one on social media claiming that Senate Republicans just succeeded in stripping the $35 per month insulin price cap from the bill, keeping insulin prices high for Americans. So let's verify. Was the price cap on insulin removed from the Inflation Reduction Act? Our sources are the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This claim needs some context. The final version of the Inflation Reduction Act, passed by the Senate, does cap insulin prices for some people, but not for as many as originally intended. Let me explain. The original text of the bill capped insulin prices for both Medicare and private insurance patients at $35 a month. But the cap for patients with private insurance ran afoul of Senate rules, forcing a separate vote on that provision, which failed to get enough Republican support to pass. As a result, the approved bill caps insulin prices at $35 a month for Medicare patients only. More than 63 million Americans are enrolled in Medicare, and 1 out of every 3 Medicare patients has diabetes, according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So we can verify that the Inflation Reduction Act still contains a price cap on insulin, but it only applies to Medicare patients and not for people with private insurance. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope. Yeah, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So Fred Savage is speaking out after some women accused him of sexual harassment on the Wonder Years reboot set. So 6 female crew members spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about Fred's alleged sexual harassment. The women say they saw 2 different sides to Fred, one that was a supportive colleague around other actors and executives, but then juxtaposed that to a darker, angrier alter ego. One woman said, on a night out with some crew members, Fred pushed her against a wall and, quote, put his mouth on her very forcefully. In a statement, Fred said there are some incidents being reported that absolutely did not and could not have happened, but added, quote, any one person who feels hurt or offended by my actions is one person too many. I will work to address and change any behavior that has negatively affected anyone. Tori, who do you believe and what do you think about his response?
I'm always going to believe people that come forward and say that because the majority of people that do it aren't lying. But I want us to just address sort of the elephant in the room here. Everybody wants this to not be true, even out there watching, right? We all don't like to hear that Fred Savage is like a jerk. Allegedly, excuse me, you're absolutely right. But it's because we grew up with him, right? Princess Bride, he was the baby reading with Peter Falk, the book. Wonder Years, he was all of us being a teenager, right? We heard his voice in our heads. Even if he's unlikable, 6 women to me makes me think a little bit differently. He's had a 2018 lawsuit filed against him on the Grindr, and she said it was verbally and physical. So 6 women are saying things like that. I'm hearing you're getting pushed up allegedly against the wall. Not good. And I don't want to say I like him and therefore I don't hold him accountable. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and I'm kind of with you, right? I might be blinded by his celebrity, like a lot of people, you know, and I try to differentiate things, whether it be politics or celebrity, but it's tough because I really like Fred Savage, you know, and this will kind of sour that love I have for him. I have to write down my goals every year. He's at the top of people I want to interview. And, you know, I want to believe him, but 6 people, like you said, and especially the time we live in, even if it's misconstrued, like I could see that side as well. Like if you're 40, which I am, 44, and going out with a 20-year-old, some things that you did growing up might not be appropriate today, right? Even if you don't mean it. But 6 of them makes me feel like there might be something there, unfortunately.
Yeah, there does seem to be a pattern of behavior, and there is a lot of smoke, and you know, we see too many times, too often than not, that when there's smoke, there is fire, and perhaps this is a wildfire. I just want to wait to see all the facts, and I'm not in no way, shape, or form is that me saying that these 6 individuals are lying or exaggerating. This is just me wanting to wait to hear both sides of the story before I come up, and that's something I'm going to be working on.
I applaud that. I applaud that because, you know, just a year and a half ago, just saying that would get you in trouble. You would be canceled along with Fred Savage because you're 100% not on those women's sides. And I think getting down to what the problem is and what really happened is what we should all be worried about, right? And hold people accountable or not accountable and find out the facts. So I applaud you for saying that.
Thank you. We'll have to wait and see if it's criminal or not, right? Okay, so Ryan Reynolds says he's still in the doghouse over a big purchase he made last year. Okay, so while on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Ryan revealed that he never really talked to his wife, Blake Lively, about buying 1/2 of a Welsh soccer team. Yeah, take a look.
And I remember seeing Blake and saying, you know, I have bad news, and I have really bad news. The really bad news is that, you know, I might have bought half of a 5th-tier National Football League in Wales.
What was her reaction?
Not good, Rob. No, not great.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're still working through that one.
Oh my gosh, Ryan and his friend comedian Rob McElhenney paid $2.5 million for the team. That's a big purchase to not consult with your partner with. Have you ever made any crazy purchases that
I like he goes, how did that go? Not good, Rob. Not good. It was funny. I love Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I love Ryan Reynolds. The only thing that I did, but I usually consult my wife about everything. I can't say the same thing about her.
Oh.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Yeah, but I did buy a sauna one time because I was contracted to do this job. I got fired the day before I was supposed to do this job, and then I bought a sauna. So I was like, well, that was going to pay for the sauna, but now we have a sauna.
Now I can heat myself up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a fancy sauna, too. It has lights. It has music.
Do you like
First of all, it's a box for people out there thinking I have like this steam room.
It sounds like you
It's
do.
a box, and the lights are therapeutic.
Okay, they look like they're you. When he sends us a picture sometimes, like it looks like you're having a rave in there.
Yeah. It's like a European discotheque. Yeah, it looks like a discotheque.
It does, yes. Yeah, it does.
I think I've done it on hair extensions.
Oh my gosh, yes, you.
And I think I haven't told. I've bought a lot of fake hair.
I think I've exaggerated about it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm right there with you. I don't really purchase like clothes or shoes. I rent them like you do on Rent the Runway, so that's not an issue. But when it comes to hair is expensive.
It is.
And I still don't think I tell my husband exactly what that cost is.
Makeup, facials, whatever you guys,
hair,
all the stuff.
Botox.
That stuff. Listen, I've cut whiffs of how much it is, and I don't like it.
I round down.
Oh, yeah.
How much was your hair color? 140 or whatever it may be.
Have you seen someone went viral because it says, what's Ulta? Why are you spending on Ulta? And someone goes, oh, it's utilities. And he goes, oh, great. Moves on.
All right, so Game of Thrones actor Sean Bean is taking some heat over comments he made about sex scenes on set. Speaking to the Times of London, Sean said intimacy coordinators who help make actors feel safe during sex scenes can spoil the spontaneity. He said the coordinators would inhibit him because it's drawing attention to things and bringing it down to quote-unquote technical exercise. Actress Rachel Zegler spoke out, tweeting, quote, spontaneity in intimate scenes can be unsafe wake up. And actress Jamila Jamil said, quote, sex scenes should only be technical. It's like a stunt. Our job as actors is not to make it not look technical. Nobody wants an impromptu grope.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
Sean Bean kind of stepped in this one. I really like him, but the whole point is that it's not spontaneous, because that's when women got groped for years and years and years, and they had no voice or platform to say anything. So having the intimacy coach there is, of course, what you need, and he just hasn't understood it. He hasn't understood the Me Too movement. That's just someone that has not understood that someone's done that to someone before. He wants it to be all raunchy and sexy. So do we. But as an actor, that's a dance. That's a choreographed, technical blocking move. My hand goes here, your lips go there. You can make it look sexy. I probably couldn't.
So personal too.
Yeah.
You're married. If one person's married, if you just have a previous trauma, and you have to be careful in situations like this. You're no stranger to intimate scenes. Now, and we're going to get to a scene. Don't worry, we have it. But when you did it, would you have rather had it very blocked out and technical, or would you rather have had the director be like, just go?
Blocked out. Definitely,
Right.
definitely,
Tell us why.
because that, number one, it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable, not sexual by any means, at least in my case.
It was a music
Which
video.
we'll see. It was a music video, yes, yeah. You're already uncomfortable, and I'd rather just be like, hey, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Makes me feel comfortable. I would assume it makes her feel comfortable. But for Sean, I'm not defending him. If he is attached to the art, you want it to make it look as natural as possible. I think that's where he's coming from. But in the time that we live in,
he didn't get it.
Man, you got to choreograph that stuff just like anything else.
Right. Agreed.
Roll it.
So I wish they told me not to do that.
How about this part?
Listen,
in the tub?
because she cut her toe. We all been over this.
Oh my God, the groping.
Oh my God. You were eating her face.
I can't even defend myself.
I can't even look. I can't.
Listen, where's Tori's where she assaulted somebody?
Yeah, you pretty much did.
I did. But that's a true story. Madonna, I played Madonna in a biopic. You can look it up.
Tori likes it. Even if it's accusing her of assault, she's like, I did.
No, Madonna went up to it famously. DJ gave her the cassette and then kissed the DJ.
We don't have it?
And he played it, her song. That's how she first got into the clubs.
Maybe by the end we will have Tori's infamous assault.
It might be in the hands of the FBI after.
Alleged. Okay, so Drake is trolling his dad over a tattoo. So his dad reportedly got a tattoo of Drake's face inked on his arm 5 years ago, okay? Drake posted the tattoo with the caption, I was just sitting here thinking, why'd you do me like this? We're family. His dad responded by saying he's had 16 people try to straighten it out. For the record, Drake also seems to have his dad's face tattooed on his arm.
Can we go back for a second, Sam? Look at this. Can we go? That first off is a great tattoo, but that he looks like he's smelling the armpit, doesn't it?
Ew,
the placement is so bad.
Well, it looks just like Blue Steel from Zoolander. I think we have a side by side.
Wow. Now Drake hates even more after that. Side by side. Is that tattoo of the dad real? Is that a real or is that a joke?
No, I think he has
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I like how detailed it was.
Yeah, his dad's is cool.
Very
it's like
good.
super
Very well done.
70s.
Did he do that out of spite, you think?
I assume.
Doesn't he have a lot of what are his other tattoos? Is it all his family members?
Yeah, he has a certain theme to his tattoos.
Right.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, he had a bar mitzvah. I love that guy.
I would think so.
Half Jewish. I love that guy.
I would imagine he did.
We should do a fun fact segment about Drake. I didn't know any of that.
I know. All right. Let's get to the next story, shall we?
I'm excited to see what it is.
The prompter slowly scrolls. Before we go, some pups took part in the World Dogs. Oh my God!
I'm so
World Dog Surfing Championships in California. Dogs like Charlie couldn't wait to get their surfboard in the water. There he is taking part in the tandem surfing event with another pooch, catching a wave on the board by himself.
No, someone pushed them. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got help.
They need a little bit of help because they can't paddle.
But don't say by themselves.
They can't paddle.
They don't have opposable thumbs.
Good one.
Thanks.
Good one, Fokker.
Exactly. Charlie came in second place and even took home some doggy surfing swag. What a good boy. Some White Claw.
That's weird.
Does the owner who actually swam out there and pushed them get anything?
No, but he had to balance and understand.
He had to sit there.
No, he has to do this on
No,
surfing.
he doesn't.
Sam can tell you have to balance.
Oh, yes. First of all,
He has 4 legs.
That's true.
I bet it's easier for the dog to surf than for a human to surf.
Yeah, so he didn't really do anything.
Yes, he did.
They just stood there.
Aww.
Look at, see, that guy did all the work.
No, look at him. Look, he has to stand there.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And his tail's wagging.
Yes.
He loves it. Oh,
he loves it because it's getting rocked around by the waves. He doesn't like it.
Of course. Well, you don't know that. His tail was wagging. I
so
hope he liked it.
So you just assume if they went parachuting, they'd like that too?
Well, he dragged the thing out as if, let me out, let me out.
I know. I'm just trying to make it fun.
Okay. I love to surf. Do you love to surf? Nope. Coming up on DBL. Things you can do right now to appear more attractive.
Oh, I need this.
We've got, you do not need this, but we do got the list. It's coming after the break.
So awkward.
We emailed it to you.
Closed captioning provided by
DBL is all new every day.
Okay, if you are with us, you are now following. Yes, please. So you are following me here.
Every time ad-lib.
We have Drake tattoos. What we didn't know is that Drake has all people's faces on there. So we have, I'm going to look them all up. Drake's 35 tattoos in their meeting. He has Lil Wayne.
Which I went to the Drake Lil Wayne concert.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Really?
So this was about 10 years ago at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, wow. And let me tell you, their camaraderie was quite cute. They fully had a bromance. I say that respectfully. So they would their whole concert was them, they would each perform a song. They'd always come out together. And they would all, you know how different artists will speak to the crowd? They would speak to the crowd about stories about one another. Oh, that's really nice. Super cute relationship. Super cute. They probably hate that I'm talking about them this way.
Yeah, they're probably watching.
How about this, Sam? A Dracar Noir cologne bottle tattooed.
Dracar? That was back in the day.
Remember this one? Dracar Noir. Do you remember that?
Can you imagine advertising tattoos?
That smells like 1991. She wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Cool Water. Remember that? No, she doesn't remember. Sade Adu portrait. That's beautiful. A jack-o'-lantern. Eyes of Hour. Oh, look, that's a beautiful one. East Side Compass. Oh, that's cool. This is, I think, German. October Legend Hearts. No, that's Danish or Swedish or Icelandic. What's Swedish? It means October Lionhearted. This guy's fascinating. All kind. He has an owl.
Some guy got one on his face.
Oh, and then he has Everything Happens for a Reason. Sweet thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I want a tattoo real bad. I can't wait. If you think I should get one, let me know. Nobody else thinks I should. My mother, my husband, nobody else. I want slow and down on each foot.
But he's got a ton of his family on his back.
Five psychology tricks to be the most attractive person in the room. 1. Use your hands when you talk. Gesticulating and using your hands makes you seem more confident and more engaging.
Her accent is sexy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, welcome back. It's not just gesturing with your hands that can make you seem more attractive. According to a dating coach, another way to boost your attractiveness is by talking slowly. Should we give it a try, Tori?
Hey, I guess we should, shouldn't we, Sam? I'm not good
at that debunked that theory.
I'm really bad I'm very bad with speaking slowly.
You're not even speaking slow. You're just speaking with a beautiful, deep, breathy voice.
Thank you.
Another step you can take, smile authentically. So what's your best smile, Jeff? Be authentic.
Well, I can't now.
Do it.
You have to tell me a joke.
Okay, shoot, I don't know.
Do the green pepper.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't, now we're gonna do your smile.
Okay.
How come the green pepper can't practice archery?
Something arrow.
Because he didn't habanero. You didn't even get her smile. That was a real one. That was a real one. Okay.
Okay, finally.
That's a good joke.
It's a really good joke. That's a really good one. It's such a dad joke.
Yeah.
Finally having a sensual energy.
You have this. I do not.
I do not.
I do not
You're
have this.
crazy to think that I have this.
I think you walk in like a leopard. You walk in like a panther.
Sierra gave me like a
see, and I walk in like hello. No.
I don't agree with you, but thank you. That makes me very, I feel very like.
That was a nice, the Panther thing?
She does, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she
that was a
kinda,
good.
She kind of swans and glides.
No, stop it right now. Now I feel like I have something to live up to.
No, I'm just saying.
Swans and glides?
Well, she comes in with a more of a liquid feeling than I come in with. It's like, hello.
Okay,
No,
full disclosure, she started the show and sprayed herself with Downy, and she was soaking wet like a cat, like a wet cat.
Speaking of wet, apparently having wet hair, stop it right now, Jeffrey. Stop it right now. Stop. Apparently having wet hair will make you more attractive, but does wet hair really make you sexier? Let's find out.
What do you mean?
Tori, take a look.
What do you mean? Oh, no.
Oh, wait, that is a cute outfit.
That's
What
not
top
my
is that?
outfit. That's not my body.
Oh, they just put
You look like a wet koala bear.
Oh my gosh.
I look way worse.
Jeffrey's next. Jeffrey.
Okay.
What's up?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Dude, when did you guys get that shot?
Is that Fabia?
Well, no,
That is absolutely
that's all
ridiculous.
natural.
Jeffrey, you look good.
Oh my God.
You guys want a little sneak peek?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then finally we have me. Let's see.
Oh.
I look
like an elf,
like a fairy or something. I look weird.
Your ears
You look like you used
different.
to ice skate when you were 12 in the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure.
I look like, what's her name? Tonya Harding.
Yeah, different.
Oh,
Whoa, I'm not happy about mine at all.
you're mad about it. What do you think, like, really, Kim Kardashian has the wet hair? Do you
she
guys
looks beautiful.
like that look?
Yeah.
I'm over the wet look. I know it was popular like a couple, and then what's her name did it? Megan Fox.
Ugh.
I'm kind of sick of it. Everyone look at Zendaya. I get it, but it's like, did you just come out of the rain? I don't know.
Not into it.
I'm not that.
Do you
into
think
it.
it's sexy?
No.
No. What about you when you come out of the shower?
Yeah, are you
feel sexy?
Well, we just got a sneak peek.
Oh God, it's a different race of a person.
Wow.
What are you talking about? Just sun-kissed, that's all.
Oh, okay.
See, that's too buff for me.
I agree with you,
Way
Sam.
too buff.
That turns me off.
How long are you at the gym for?
I agree with you.
I'd rather you be.
Okay, so if you were on vacation and single with your girlfriends and that man walked out of the woods.
Too much.
No.
And just, you were there in
First of all,
Bora
that's
Bora for one night.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
right.
first of all, that's terrifying that he came out of the woods. Second of all, I think she's right. It's almost like you're a
much.
mannequin.
Yeah.
I can't. What is there?
Yeah. No.
I need. Right?
Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. Jeff doesn't buy it.
Just like Dad. Hey, I love Dad.
Passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Ads attacking the bill have already. So is that true? Does the Inflation Reduction Act cut billions of dollars from Medicare? To verify, we looked at the text of the bill, the analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office, and we went to sources specializing in health and budget policy. All our sources confirmed this bill as written does not cut any funding to Medicare. What it aims to do is actually save Medicare money by reducing how much it pays out to drug companies. It does this in 3 ways. The first is to give the federal government the authority to negotiate with drug companies over how much it'll pay for certain Medicare-covered drugs. The second way is to institute a cap on how much drug companies are allowed to raise the prices they charge Medicare each year. And the third way, undoing a Trump-era rule that banned drug makers from giving discounts to insurers in order to keep their products on the insurer's list of approved drugs. According to the Congressional Budget Office, all that adds up to nearly $300 billion in savings for Medicare over the next 9 years. But it's cost savings, not budget cuts. In fact, the text of the Senate bill includes billions in new spending for Medicare. AARP calls the claims the legislation would cut Medicare a lie, saying, quote, this bill saves Medicare nearly $300 billion by lowering the price of drugs. Only drug companies would say that saving people money is a bad thing. All that means we can verify, no, the Inflation Reduction Act does not cut billions of dollars from Medicare. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. It's still one hot summer and we haven't seen the last of record-breaking temperatures. So if you're feeling overheated, try wrapping a cool wet towel around your neck, but that's not the only way to beat the heat. Here are some other quick ways to cool down, sponsored by Sunsetter. Did you know you can create a cool breeze just by setting a large bowl of ice water in front of a standard fan? And instead of a pool, you can just dip your little toes into a cool little bowl. all the way up to the ankles. Also, keep skin products like lotion and sunscreen in the fridge before applying. Nice and chill on the body. I like it. Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Get affordable custom features without the custom price. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Picture it, a standoff. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and in the middle, the Inflation Reduction Act. Tumbleweed passes by. Will the bill pass? Before the showdown, let me fill you in on what ended up in the final bill, because that's what's on the table here. There are some biggies like climate change, big pharma, and tax reform. Juicy, huh? Let's start with the biggie, climate change. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first bill in U.S. history to address climate change seriously, with almost $400 billion set aside for building the infrastructure we need for renewable energy. So I want you to think solar panels, wind turbines, plus a lot of tax credits for buying electric vehicles and smarter homes. And the bill would aim to lower greenhouse gas emissions 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big step forward. Big pharma, baby, let's slash some prescription drug prices, huh? For the first time ever, the bill gives Medicare the power to negotiate the price of medicines. Lawmakers have wanted to do this for years, and this Congress appears to have finally gotten it done. The great news for those on limited income, there's also now a cap for any out-of-pocket prescription costs, and that is set at $2,000. Additionally, many healthcare subsidies that grew out of the pandemic, they're going to be extended for the next 3 years, which is a huge relief to middle and lower income individuals. Also huge, Medicare recipients will see the price of insulin capped at $35. Now, an effort to expand this cap to Americans with private insurance didn't have enough Republican support and was stripped from the bill, which is a big miss for the more than 7 million Americans who require insulin but aren't on Medicare. How do we pay for all this, Tor? Big taxes on big corporations, like a 15% minimum tax for any corporation making over $1 billion in income, which will bring over $300 billion of revenue. Healthcare savings from allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices is estimated to save another $200 billion. And an $80 billion investment to improve the IRS. That is actually expected to pay off handsomely because the IRS estimates that the tax gap, the difference between what people owe and what they actually pay, exceeded $400 billion per year in recent years. As for if the bill will actually reduce inflation in any real sense for the average family, that remains to be seen. But all of this almost didn't happen. Schumer had every Senate Democrat on board except for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. The negotiations wore on long into Saturday night. 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. Finally, Schumer manages to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to come over to their side. That means that all Senate Democrats have voted yes, and every single Senate Republican has voted no. What does that make it? 50-50. A tie? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters! Just kidding, Kamala Harris. As the Veep, Harris is also the president of the Senate, aka the tiebreaker. So Harris swooped in Sunday night in the wee hours to vote for the bill to pass 51-50. As Chuck Schumer, the architect of the bill, said, quote, "It was like threading a needle." Some might be disappointed with the results, but hey, at least the sewing has started. Now you know.
Welcome back. Before we go, you have to check this out. A French scientist is coming clean about an alleged star he posted on social media. So the scientist posted this photo he claimed was an image of a star taken with the James Webb Space Telescope. The image soon went viral with thousands of retweets. So the scientist was forced to admit it was all a prank and was actually a picture of a piece of chorizo sausage. He actually said it was more than a prank, though. He wanted to show people how misinformation can be spread so easily.
Wow, well, he spread it. I mean, what I don't love about this is that are people going to start questioning the other web photos? Is this all fake? Are we not on the moon? Is the world flat? It's not flat. We've checked. It's definitely not. So I don't know. I don't like when science plays pranks. That's not my favorite. Sorry.
got
What'd you
weird.
think
But
about
you know
the
what my
chorizo?
favorite is?
What?
Enough with the chorizo. Let's get to the video.
Oh, you want? Here she is.
Why? I just didn't want to do this
There
scene.
was one pretty good song. I'm sure
It's like 3 in the
everyone would
morning.
like it.
That's assault, brother.
Wow.
Whose is worse? Be honest.
Well, let's compare it. Roll.
Oh man. Okay.
Good call, Sam.
Listen, without that wink, Tori's is worse.
No, the worst part is
The
this
wink
part.
is the worst.
Put your hand on her sack.
Listen, that's this up for Video Music Award of the Year, so everybody relax.
Was it?
No?
No. Okay.
Okay, now let's compare it.
No, Jeff's is way more like intimate.
I agree.
So better acting.
Yeah. True.
It's true. Mine was not great.
Where'd you get that wig from?
Oh my God!
Looked nothing like Madonna's.
At one point, we were in Times Square illegally shooting it, and the cops come, and everyone only spoke Japanese, and they were yelling at me to leave, and there was cops and people, and I thought to myself, where am I in my life? And I'm getting yelled at. It was just a mess.
Why was everyone speaking Japanese in Times Square?
It was a Japanese show that I was on for TV Asahi.
In Japan?
Yeah, it was in Japan.
So not New York City.
No, we were in New York City, the Japanese producers.
Okay, we'll see you guys
Let's never talk about this again.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Am I going crazy?
I just love your passion right now.
I'll take it. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, let me get on it. You just got me all riled up.
So
Who raised you?
This is a win, right, guys? Why am I right all the time?
You're not.
I live my life for Spike. Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
I didn't expect that. I love this segment.
Yes.
You just made my day, my week, my month, my year. DBL is all new every day.